Cheers. You know,
Cheers. Yeah, buddy.
another podcast.
You guys have been here from the beginning.
Yeah.
You guys, yeah.
I think it was last month I saw the first time I was ever on here in your parents' kitchen. I'm like, sweet.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's been that long.
I was gonna say
Damn.
Hugh's been there from the get-go.
Well, Braden was on there before I was.
Yeah. And then you were right after, but I had moved
You already moved.
to the first.
I wasn't cool enough for the kitchen.
No, that wasn't it. It was weird bringing people into my parents' house.
We were the trial run.
Yeah. You guys were the test runs.
Yeah,
and
really.
it was fine with you guys because my parents knew you. But random people were just coming over. They're like, this is not gonna
This is not gonna fly.
gonna work. We can't do this. You can't just be bringing over random people,
No.
having them sit in the kitchen.
I mean, I don't blame them. I don't blame anyone that would think that.
Well, and as it's gotten, I mean, some of the guests I've had on now, and maybe into the future, like, it's probably good to have a little separation. Like, don't come to my parents' house. Like, come to
Yeah.
the studio. Let's do it in the studio.
All right, how do I do this?
You just cut the back.
Just cut the back.
There you go.
Just like that.
Come on, muscles.
There you go.
Right.
Oh. Hey,
Did it.
Clean
that
cut.
worked. Hey, you want it?
Just let's see if we can slice this. Do you smoke
That
a lot of
was-
cigars?
That was not clean.
Not a lot. I do. It's nice that Sabrina's not here, so she won't have me. She doesn't like when I smell like an ashtray, which is fair. But
I feel like cigars are better than cigarettes.
yeah.
By far.
100%.
Oh.
The first time I ever smoked like a real cigar like this, it was with a Modelo Black Tall Boy. I had the whole tall boy and the whole cigar in like 45 minutes. I felt real good.
I fuck with cigars, dude. I actually do.
We had those cigars at your wedding.
Yeah. You know, I still don't really remember too much about the wedding, but
I remember.
I was having a
dude,
blast.
You were.
I was having a great time.
I think everybody was having a good time.
It was a
Yeah.
fun wedding.
Your fun, yeah.
It
Your
was,
wedding was really
Both
fun.
of your guys' weddings were pretty fucking fun.
I was trashing both, so I was sucking hammered. What do I do? Let me
Just like light it.
The ones I've been like, I don't mind is like black and mild.
Those are the ones with the wood tip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those ones. If you're gonna get like the cheaper cigars like that, I usually get like a Swisher, but it sucks because like you can't have the grape ones anymore. So usually when I just get it, I get Diamond. But usually I only get cigars if I'm going camping. That's usually the only time I like smoke cigars.
You can't get the grape ones anymore?
California like outlawed all that flavor. So if someone has like stuff in the back or whatever, but like I don't think they can get like brand new flavored tobacco like that anymore.
So what do you do now? Just regular?
Yeah, I mean, like, so when you get like chewing stuff, like you can get like straight. I don't think you can do like wintergreen or like the mint or any of that crap anymore.
They did the same thing with Zins. You can only get the flavors are chill and cool or smooth. They don't do the flavored Zins. These are all from out of state.
That's probably for the better, dude. Honestly,
Is it though?
no.
Because I feel like this is America. And if you want some flavored tobacco and nicotine, you should be able to get it. Appreciate you.
I feel like America's the one place you can get cancer with anything.
You can definitely get it from the food.
Yeah,
According to
especially
some
with
people.
food. Fast food, you're fucked, dude. I love fast food.
It's
though.
amazing. There was a girl on TikTok that I saw. I want to say it was somewhere in Europe, and she moved there. And she said she was really nervous, never been out of the country before, but just up and moved. And she's like, the amount of like stuff over here is just so much better. Like the water there was better, and you know, just every simple stuff like that you just wouldn't think of.
Where at?
I forget where. It was somewhere. It's in Europe somewhere.
Well, that's because they ban like
Everything.
everything. Like everything that's okay here in like America, you can't do shit over there.
They have like one type of cereal, whole wheat cereal, because they don't
Mhm.
have any of the additives. They're not having Lucky Charms and shit out there.
No.
No. They have their own different things going on.
Well, we got the Super Bowl, so we got that going for us.
We win.
We got that going for
That's
us.
our metric.
Hey, Super Bowl has been better than the Olympics, that's for sure.
America kicked ass in the Olympics.
The Olympics were pretty cool. I watched some of it.
Opening thing though, what the opening ceremony?
Oh yeah, we were talking about that at the
At the gym.
That was pretty crazy.
That was pretty weird.
The opening ceremony. What happened with that?
You didn't see it?
I don't think so.
It's like it was like a whole bunch of drag queens, and I think they were doing
It was the Last Supper.
the Last Supper. They're like
A
I don't know,
trans,
like the trans
rendition.
Last Supper, exactly rendition, and pretty much a whole Christian community was.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that.
There was backlash for like 48 hours,
Yeah, there's a guy
and then it just went away.
painted in blue with like a Speedo on. Yeah, he just had a Speedo. And I was like, all right.
It just got weirdly political when it's like, we're just here to watch the sports. Let's highlight the athletes.
The only thing that I really saw that was like the biggest thing was obviously like the female boxer.
Oh, the female boxer.
Oh, dude, that was
dude,
nuts.
that was
Yeah.
wild.
That was crazy how many people like were just
Bashing.
and I don't know. From what I did, and like I saw the story and I told Sabrina, I was like, you know, it's fair just to like a lot of people just read like the tagline or whatever and just kind of
Yeah.
ran with it. Which,
Even Elon Musk.
if it was like if that person was a dude,
Yeah.
big problem. But as far as I know, like she wasn't. Like
Did they
she's
confirm
like,
that she was a female? Like, wasn't that?
I think it
confirmed thing?
finally came out like 100% like she's a female.
I stopped following it, but the last thing that I heard was the person had XY chromosomes. Did they back out from that?
See, Sabrina mentioned that, and like because she told me more about it than I really, because her and I just talked about it, and then she told me like, oh, like, you know, they have XY chromosomes. So I was just like, I looked into it, and I saw, well, this is like a 15-minute search on Google for like 4 different sites that is, you know, look, just a small little article on it.
Yeah.
Not a single one mentioned XY chromosome or nothing. It was said that last year she was in New Delhi, got disqualified for like high testosterone or whatever, but like that doesn't mean that you're a dude.
What
And then it
was
was
it
just,
high?
when it was also like her country that she was representing, like super like against that kind of stuff. So it was just kind of it wouldn't be, it didn't seem right that like they're so against it, but then would let someone like that represent them. So it just didn't really fit. And I don't know. I looked, the 4 stories I saw, it was just like she was disqualified in New Delhi and then had a high testosterone. But other than that, was like there was nothing else saying that she was had been a dude before. I mean, she masculine, I'll give you that. But it's just like she's also a female boxer.
Beat
like
the fuck out of that girl though.
Oh my
it was
God,
like
so
45
quick.
seconds.
dude, she
so
ended
quick.
up getting gold. Like she won the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that girl was like, you know, good, but like, because she quit, because like I've never been punched that hard. I'm like,
You're like, you're boxing, dude.
yeah, well, I'm just like,
you're fucking boxing.
I'm like, do you not know what you're signing up for? But at the
Yeah.
same time, like, came out, she wasn't like a dude. So it was just like, maybe you just haven't fought someone that strong before. I don't know. And it wasn't like she was undefeated, because everyone made it sound like, you know,
Well-
that she should, like, was super in her corner, which again, if she ended up being a dude, then yeah, 100% like not okay, in my opinion. But it was just like, she
Well-
wasn't. And so,
I think it's not her first time just giving up like that, though.
I had heard that she had been disqualified from some other leagues because of the chromosome thing. Did you hear anything about that?
What's her name? Like Amani or something like that?
I don't even know it was like, what, 3 weeks ago? I have no idea what her name. The internet's forgotten about her already. I just know it was a big ass deal and hurt a lot of feelings. Which, again, if she was a dude, 100% would not be okay personally with her being in the Women's Olympics competing in sports. But it's just like, she's a woman. So
Well, that's what I think. Like,
What is a woman?
person born with a uterus. That's my definition.
yeah, mine too. Big camp of there's 2 genders. You're born one or the other. If you want to switch, that's okay. But everything in between, you know, you get people that are like, oh, you can identify as whatever you want. I don't really. It's not my camp.
No, I'm in the same boat, dude. I just believe in 2 genders, and that's about it. I'm not gonna come up and be like, hey, I was gonna go somewhere with that. I retract my statement.
I really am stuck in like a hard place about it, because it's literally just like, you don't, you know, someone's just like, oh, I, you know, identify as this. You don't want to be rude and a dick and just, you know, not call them after they've already asked you or whatever.
If they're nice about it.
Yeah.
If they're nice about it. If you come
But
at me
at the
like
same
a
time,
dick,
like, where does it stop? It's just like, you let them identify as something else, then like where do you draw the line?
Where
Then
do
you,
we
open, then you open Pandora's box, which is I feel like what we're living in now. You can identify as anything, and it's no harm, no foul, and you can do and say whatever you want, and everyone should just be okay with that.
I'm not okay with it.
I'm right there with you, pal.
Oh man.
Like, I've talked to people that, are in that community, and it's just like, I've got no problem talking to them, wherever we're at, but it's just, and I don't want to be a dick, but it's just like, I don't agree with everything they say.
I think that's
which is
where
fine.
most people are. It's just that I don't want to be a dick.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I'm not invested. It doesn't affect me personally.
Well, I don't want to like, it's just like, I just told Caz, it's like if someone was like, I don't know, identify as a dog. You don't want
That's
to
fucking tough though.
Well, yeah, but you don't want to be like, but you don't want to be like,
retriever.
Yeah, but you don't want to be like, oh, like you're a woman, like purposely just be an asshole. But at the same time, like if I said that, like I think I'm right in that, like, no, you're a woman or you're a dude, like you're not a dog, but whatever. Yeah. Like it's just kind of like,
yeah.
If you give them that, like, where do they go with it and where does it stop? Like, what becomes too much?
I mean, I get it. My thing is when guys use it to go to like the females' bathrooms, or like their dressing rooms.
Or compete in the Olympics.
Or compete in the Olympics.
That's a big one.
That one's a big one.
Well, and you had that in MMA with, I think the fighter's name was Fallon Fox. And that was a big thing because she had been fighting against women. I think she had a few fights before it came out that she was trans. And just was.
Let me guess, she was dominating.
Yeah. But the thing is, there are some women that could beat some men. Like, I don't know if you put Fallon Fox up against a Ronda Rousey or a Cyborg. Like, skill is a factor, especially if you can bring jiu-jitsu in and training at these high levels.
Yeah, but I feel like that's only to a certain point.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just certain point.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we have weight classes. Like,
That's why we separate men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we separate men from men. Like, 185 can't compete with, like, the 220s. It just doesn't work like that.
Have you heard about the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight? Is that still a thing?
It's still going to be a thing. They just had a press conference for it, like within the last week or whatever. They were. I think it was scheduled, and then they got pushed back for some reason. But then they just did a deal, like where they are up against each other and they take the picture or whatever, and like they push each other and stuff. So, but I think it's just going to be another like the last Mike Tyson fight that he had. It's like, I get it. Both guys were older, and it's like it's an exhibition fight. It's not like a fight, so it's just like they're just kind of doing it for a paycheck or for entertainment or whatever. But it was just like,
I think it's gonna be tough for Mike Tyson. I'm not gonna lie.
You think the odds are on Jake?
Like, I don't know. He's
a big dude.
Like, he's a big dude,
and he's younger.
He's younger,
significantly younger.
He's a good boxer. Like, I'll give him that. And Mike Tyson's like how old? Like 50 something?
Oh, I don't know.
50.
I just know he's
almost 60.
He's on the older side, but that dude is still scary.
He's still scary.
He's still fucking huge. He's still fast as shit. Like, it's obviously not heyday Mike Tyson, but like he's still a scary human being. Like, you're not going to pay me enough to commit suicide to go in the ring with Mike Tyson.
I think it might be like a little bit more towards Jake's favor, in my own opinion.
I don't know. Like, he's an experienced fighter. He's young. He's agile. He's fast. But like, it's still Mike Tyson. You're still going up against Mike Tyson. So I don't know.
And all it comes down to is, I mean, if you can land a clean punch, Mike's got some serious power.
He does.
He
does.
But yet,
I don't know.
Jake's younger. Jake's younger, and he does have talent.
I can't remember how the whole thing started. Like, I'd imagine.
I think Jake just called him out.
I'd say it was probably just like a tweet or something. It was just like, oh, I could beat you in a fight, and then it just went from there. So it's just like,
once he saw the potential for the amount they could bring in, Mike was probably like, yeah.
Do you have a paper towel in here or something?
No, but there's paper towels in the bathroom. You just split the curtain.
Cigars are really good,
right? They're not bad.
They're never bad. I've never had a bad cigar. I don't think. I'm not a connoisseur. I don't know the difference between a good cigar and a bad cigar. I don't. But I'm just like, I've never had one that I didn't enjoy.
That's my problem. I don't know enough. I walked into that room, that humidor room, and was just like, okay, I don't want to spend $100 on a cigar, but where's the line?
You don't want to buy a $3 cigar or whatever. Yeah. There was the same thing with like liquor, like whiskey or gin or bourbon or something like that. It's just like some people are just, they're on it. Or like wine.
Wine's huge.
Like
with
wine.
that.
See, yeah.
What's that?
Spending money. We were talking about how much do you spend before you're not really buying a changing quality. Are you going to drop $100 on a cigar or on a bottle of wine?
I'll get a $5 cigar. It'd be the same.
Yeah. I just don't know enough. I don't know if you could actually taste a difference.
I'm sure somebody could. I couldn't, but I'm sure somebody could.
Because to me, it tastes the same. Like, if you give me both, I'll be like, they both kind of taste like shit. But I still want to smoke it. I don't know.
I think these ones taste pretty good,
Mhm.
but I don't know what a good cigar tastes like.
Yeah. Or like you get like a bottle of bourbon, you buy a bottle of Jack for $18 versus something that costs $500. It's like, is it going to be that much? I imagine, I would really, really hope it is better, but I don't know what qualifies as better. Like, I don't know if it's got to be more than just taste. Like
Weed falls into that. Weed.
How much
for
are
sure.
you spending on weed?
Well, I'm just saying, like, $5 weed compared to like
yeah.
$50 weed.
Oh yeah, big difference.
If you're buying
Big
$5
difference.
weed,
I feel like weed falls into that pretty damn good.
$5 weed used to be unheard of. Now it's whatever.
yeah, but I don't know anybody that's paying like $100 for an eighth. That would be crazy.
Is that how
Right.
much it is now?
No.
Oh my
It's
god!
probably like $20 for an eighth.
Oh my lord! I haven't smoked weed in like a year and a half.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. You took some time off.
Yeah, I'm probably full off now. At this point,
Think you'll ever go back?
no.
You're over it. You rode the wave and now it's time to get off.
Until like, if my job is like, yeah, sure, okay, then maybe.
Are they going to drug test you out there?
They already did. I already did the drug test. Like, and then, well, didn't they pass something in 2024 where you can smoke marijuana like outside of work, like not working hours, in your own personal time?
Yeah, I think they won't test you if it's not a federal job.
Yeah, as long as you're not like a federal. Like I couldn't do it because I have a Class A and a hazmat. So it's like
Yeah, they probably would frown on that.
yeah, it's literally just like it doesn't matter if you show up to work sober or not. It's just like you just can't have it in your system.
That's fair. That's
So,
fair.
Yeah, I think.
Which is still crazy because you can drink alcohol.
Yeah,
you're
and I
totally
mean
fine.
like So
Which I would feel like alcohol is like a little bit worse than weed. You know,
could be. Everything and everybody's different. It's like
I can't drive drunk.
one person drinking a beer and one person drinking the same beer. Like they could, you know, one's
That's
going to be
my
over the
thing.
line, one's not going to be over the line.
I can't drive drunk, but if you give me a joint, like I can make it home.
I just watched this
Pretty easy.
video.
There's
of
no way I
this-
could drive high. There's no way.
I couldn't drive either way. I would crash. I wouldn't try it. I don't even think I had this lady come on the podcast who runs high. She's a professor at HSU, and that's what she does. She smokes weed and then goes for runs. It's like I feel like I would eat shit. I'd be running and then trip over my feet and
Trip
just
over
get a face full of concrete.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think
feel
I could do that.
I haven't.
Maybe run briefly, like 100 yards, but go for a 4-mile run.
I've gotten to the point where like you get me on a good buzz from like drinking.
Yeah.
I don't know what I like to run. I don't know what it is.
You've
like
always liked to do that, though.
there's been a couple of times where it's just, and where like it's pretty the same way. Like if she gets like not wanting to run, but like if she's feeling sick or dizzy or whatever, I'm like, let's go outside, let's go walk around the block, enjoy the fresh air, like really just take it slow, just keep
Yeah,
on
but
your
you used to
feet and-
disappear.
Yeah, but he'd be running.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be running.
Oh,
Run for
I remember was that the Halloween party where you
That was
jumped out the window?
no, I didn't jump out a window. That was at Jared's house where we ran down the stairs because I spilled a drink on Zach's carpet and had to go, and like I had to get cleaned up right then.
Who jumped
And he
out?
just took off.
I don't think anyone
Started
jumped
running.
out the window.
I don't remember somebody jumping out of the window.
Someone jumped out the window because I followed them.
What me?
Was it you, Caz?
I
Did
mean,
you
I
jump out
did
the
jump
window?
out the window. I was behind someone though.
I ran out the front door. I ran down the stairs and ran out the front door.
Well, and you were on the second story, so if somebody was jumping out of your window,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
It's a
If
fall.
you followed them out of the window, that's impressive.
There's some bushes down there to,
I
break
don't know if I
fall,
would
but
want to
there-
risk that.
No, I wouldn't. I didn't, but I ran down the stairs.
No, I'm okay.
Do you think you could jump out of a 1-story building off the roof and be fine? You think you could make that? Would you take that bet?
I don't know. I'm like 260 now, so I'm fucking.
That's a lot of
yeah. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight coming down.
Especially if you landed feet first, you'd have
Yeah,
to roll.
I'd have to
You
roll.
went feet first.
Mine needs to be fucked. Mine
I
needs
don't think
already
there's a
fucked.
lot. I don't think there's a lot of guys out there that could just do that and land on their feet and not roll.
Yeah.
Like you got to roll through it. Like that's the only. Like, you watch people do like parkour and shit. They don't just like when they do like long jumps like that. They always roll through it. It's like it
Always.
just.
Yeah, but you see people who don't really have great mobility with their body. And if they don't think to roll and just jump and then hit the ground and
Oh yeah.
ankle just blows out the side.
Done.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Good luck.
It's so screwed. That's what I'm saying. I'd probably be that guy. My ankles would be fucked. My knees would be done.
I think I could do one story. If the building was on fire and I had to get out, I think I could do one story.
See, and like
2 would be.
that's where it would just be like, you might find out one day, but it's got to be in that situation. It's
Yeah.
going to be like there's no other way out. Like you have to do this, or like it's the alternative. And so it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Because at that point, you're gonna have adrenaline or whatever. So, because I like to think like at my place, like if I was like on my balcony, like I would jump into my yard and then roll through it, and I feel like I'd be okay.
And that's a 2-story place, but it's not insanely tall. I feel like jumping out of your balcony, you'd be okay.
I
But
think
jumping
so.
off the
Especially,
roof,
and it's also like doing it on the grass, not doing it on
Yeah.
the it's gonna help you a little bit. I feel like.
if you're hitting concrete, I don't like your odds, even at 1 story.
That's the thing about my place. Our balcony is over rocks.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you're done.
I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Even if I roll, I might just bust my head open. you know?
Yeah.
No, okay.
That's another thing. You gotta have like your agility intact, to where like you tuck your head enough to where you don't just hit the ground and just bam. Because then you're not helping anybody.
Freaking hot, dude.
AC unit. That's what I'm saying.
AC unit.
You guys just fucked up because we're doing it on Saturday. AC is not going to be here till Monday, but this isn't even that bad. It's 77. I've been in here 86.
Dude, I don't know.
I've been in 86.
I don't know.
The other studio got way hotter. I didn't have my little temp gauge over there, but I would start podcasts and just be dripping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling like right now.
Might be
That's-
the cigar getting to you. You got to pop a Zin.
I'll pop
Do
a Zen.
double. You want?
I'll pop a Zen right now, dude. We'll do it.
If you throw up, just turn towards Dustyn.
Dustyn's
when you
gotta
let
do it with
out.
me.
Move away from
Dustyn,
the
you doing it with
equipment.
me?
Sure.
Yes.
Oh shit!
Yes. Let's spice things up, dude.
Didn't take a lot of peer pressure.
No.
Yeah, that was a
We've always
really
been,
hard sell.
We've
Actually,
we've always been good at that though.
Where the fuck do I place this thing?
You can go top lip or you can go bottom lip. I go top.
And you just swallow?
Yep. You just tuck it like you would a Zen, I guess. I don't really know what it is. I don't do chew, so I don't know. But you just tuck it up there. I'd like to take a sip of something, some water or beer, to kind of get the flavor going.
Okay. All right.
You'll feel it.
Back
good.
in
It's like
my
a nice
day,
little-
brother.
Nice little buzz. And I mean, it raises your blood pressure, but it's not as bad as like a cigarette or anything. Nicotine's actually a nootropic. It's neuroprotective, which I don't know if that means anything for you, but
So in layman's terms,
it's almost like health food adjacent. Maybe. You're going to
So
be
you-
fine.
so if you were talking to a 5-year-old, how would you tell them?
Don't take a Zen.
Don't
If I
take
was
a
talking to a
Zen.
5-year-old,
I've
I
seen that
would
episode
say,
of The Office. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Speaking of The Office, I'm just watching that right now. Actually,
for the first time,
no, not for the first
Oh,
time.
okay.
I'm showing Maria The Office for the first time. Man.
That
I
was what-
forgot how fucking hilarious that is.
I love that show.
I fucking love that show.
after the first season. First season's a little slow.
But like the first season's 8
First,
episodes.
yeah, no,
it's not like it's a
super-
big hurdle to get over. It really
No.
ain't. Like
I almost skipped it though. I was like, let's just start on the second season. But Dwight is my fucking guy. I love Dwight with a passion.
I saw him. He was on a podcast and he was saying how it was with Bryan Cranston, the guy who plays like Heisenberg,
Breaking Bad, yeah.
Breaking Bad. He's just like, he's like, it kind of bugs me sometimes that like when people see me, they just know me as Dwight. They don't know me as Rainn Wilson. They just know me as Dwight. And but
It's me
Bryan
right there.
Cranston was just like, like it's good, but he's like, I understand what you're saying, but he's just like, it's just that means you meant that much to that person, and it's just like they're so, because people love The Office and people love Dwight. He's probably, definitely argument of like top 3 on the show, if not top 1.
I mean, would that really be such a bad thing? I mean, if I was an actor and someone just knew me as that character, I'd probably be flattered.
There was another interview with Mila Kunis. She's the voice of Meg, and like she's on like a late show. I think it was like Conan O'Brien or something. And she was just like, "Oh," he asked her like, "What do people say to you on the street?" And she's like, "I get shut up, Meg a lot."
Shut
That's
up,
Meg.
That's almost an homage to your work.
Yeah, I don't think they took it like super personally, but it was more just like the same. It was the same deal. It's just to that person that said that, like, she's Meg, and so it's just something from the show. And like you're still telling that person to shut up, and it's a random person. They have no idea who you are. Like, it's just across the street. Shut up, Meg. Like, that's crazy.
It's like, who the fuck are you, dude?
And that's almost more of an homage because you never see Mila Kunis's face. You only see Meg.
Yeah.
So for people to make the connection that that's who she is,
Yeah.
I think that's weird that actors get upset about that.
Well,
And the worst one has to be Harry Potter, right? Daniel Radcliffe.
No, I feel like the worst one would be the guy who plays Trevor in GTA.
I don't even know who that is.
The guy who plays Trevor?
Yeah, I know the character, but like I don't know who the actor is.
I don't know his name.
I don't know.
I just know him
anything.
as Trevor. But he hates that. There's so many interviews where he wants to be remembered as an actor playing his roles, not as the character.
Has he done anything else?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I
that's
know
a
he
tough
was
sell.
I know he was in The Walking Dead, I think, or the sequel of that, Day of the Walking Dead. I have no idea.
I've never watched The Walking
I have a
Dead.
But
TV
he's been
behind that curtain over there, and I keep telling myself that I'm going to mount it to the ceiling so that we can pull stuff up and look at it. And I have not done that. That's on my docket of things to do.
Oh well.
that'd be badass.
Right? That we can watch
He's so
clips and stuff
badass.
as we're doing this.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to hang it like right in the middle of the table, and then it'll just fold down. And you
We
can
talked
turn
about
and
that
look
the
at it.
last one too. But I think you were saving it for here because that's a big thing just to take down and redo. So I think that's why you were saving it. But this is gonna be a more permanent spot. I think you're probably more in the right to do it.
Yeah, that guy.
Stephen Ogg? You're
That's
talking
the
about
one.
this dude?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yep, no idea.
We can see this. Sorry for the people listening. You can't see this.
I mean,
Google Trevor.
most people
Ogg.
know what Trevor looks like in the game, and
Yeah,
it
most
looks
people.
exactly like him in real life.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So like, I feel like he's the worst one because his character,
I didn't
Trevor.
even know that they based that off of somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
I never really thought about it.
yeah, they did. the
Obviously,
whole-
somebody voiced the guy, but wow, that's solid.
I mean,
Trevor.
they do that for different games though. Like when Batista, when he was in Gears of War, his character looks just like him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Side note,
Stephen
I feel
Ogg.
like I can go for a fucking run. Oh my god,
Some people
Yeah, you
take
feel like
it.
you feel it already.
I
Some
feel
people
like
take it before they go to the gym, but the only issue is the blood pressure thing, I believe. And I was listening to a Huberman Lab podcast episode on nicotine, and I believe he recommended not doing it before physical activity, just because it wouldn't be as beneficial for like weightlifting and stuff. But you feel it.
I feel
You feel like
it.
you're locked in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like it amplifies my ability to hold a conversation significantly.
I feel like I don't even need glasses. Dude, like I'm fucking.
I can see.
I can see.
Well, it's like you're getting a double whammy too because we got
Yeah, 'cause
the
we
Zyn
got
and the
nicotine.
cigar and a beer. Like,
Yeah,
you
but
got the trifecta.
The cigar is good for
We're
testosterone.
gonna start pounding shots so that you can.
Is that
really
actually a
feel
good? Is that actually a thing? Like cigars will boost up your testosterone. I only got that from the Andrew Tate interview.
That seems like some bro. That seems like the
Like
guy that
bro
would say
science,
that,
right?
Yeah.
Right?
He just got arrested. They just raided his house. Him and his brother just
Yeah,
got
he's on
arrested.
home arrest. Home. He's arrested at home.
House arrest.
House arrest.
I never really looked into that guy. I only ever saw the
idea.
clips, the reels of him saying some
He says some
wild
fucking
stuff,
gnarly
but also
shit.
says some interesting shit too.
I saw him on the George Janko podcast, and
That's the guy that got.
he got
Was on
canned. He
Logan
got,
Paul
yeah,
thing?
yeah. Because of that one guy who's that Bobby Lee.
Yeah, Bobby Lee.
Yeah, Bobby Lee was railing on him for whatever reason.
Just shitting on
Yeah,
him?
just throughout the whole podcast, and then George just walked off the podcast.
I didn't know about that. I don't really follow those guys like that.
But that's like the only thing
Bobby
I've
Lee's
seen.
funny though. I've seen some clips from that
That's
guy.
funny.
Bobby Lee's annoying.
Oh,
He's so fucking annoying.
damn.
Like he's funny. Like he's the type of guy. He's the type of comedian where I'm like, yeah, he's funny. But if I'm like hanging out with the guy, like I'd probably just be pissed all the time.
You know, before I started listening to podcasts, this was back in when we were in high school. And it was before I even knew what a podcast was. I would listen to comedy sets on Spotify.
Okay.
just to break up as I was working, just to break up, because sometimes you get burnout on music.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, I can't listen to the same song 20 times anymore. I got to.
Zach would always do that. Like he'd be like going to sleep. People can like have like a white noise or whatever. He'd listen to the radio or music, or he'd turn on comedy with like it was on Pandora and like listen to stand up and shit.
I listen to my crying children.
Yeah,
That'll do it.
I can do it.
That's the only white noise you need.
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Freaking BS, dude.
Good for you.
What about you? What's the kid status? Are you guys?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out if we want to do like a house first or we want to do kid first. It's like every time you talk about it, you can go 100 different ways and there's no right answer. Everyone does it a different way.
Everyone's got a different path.
Yeah, there's no. I kind of come to the conclusion that it's going to happen when it's going to happen, and I'm not going to put pressure on it.
Dude, kids are a challenge. At first, it was easy because he didn't do shit when he was born. But then, as time went on, oh my gosh,
They start getting that personality.
the personality starts kicking in, and all of a sudden, you're dealing with a whole human being that just wants to do his own thing.
What is it like seeing that develop as you're watching your kid and you
Kinda
go from this,
BS.
oh, they're just kind of BS.
It's kind of BS because you're like, dang, hey, you're in trouble. Go in your room. No, not today. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna come spank you. No. And then he runs away from me. I'm the type of parent that will put my hands on this kid. Like, I definitely believe in spankings. I don't believe in beatings, but I 100% believe in spankings.
Yeah, I get behind that. I mean, it worked for me. I mean, my parents did not spank me a lot, but it was just like that's how I knew like I was actually in trouble was when I got spanked. And then half the time,
Yeah.
especially when you're like younger, like when you are Massey's age, it's like it hurts, for a second, but it's more just it hurts your feelings more than anything else. Like it's like your parent just hit you, but like there's a reason. They don't just do it for no reason, That's something my parents always were really, really good at was like, we don't like doing it,
Yeah.
but what you did was wrong, especially when you back talk. We're going to do it one more time or harder or whatever it is. It's like my parents never beat me at all, but it was always just like you got a spanking that was enough to like, okay.
And it checks you that, okay, this is where the line is. Because
Yeah.
as a kid, you want to keep pushing. Okay, how far can I go? What can I get away with?
Thankfully, I don't have to spank him. Like, I don't spank him very often at all. So there's like a good time in between if I ever have to. And usually if you just give them like a pat on the butt and just say they're in trouble, they usually just start crying out anyways. But just seeing that development, seeing that personality kick in, one is kind of BS because it's like, okay, well, now I'm getting your attitude from your mom and you. So this is great. She passed that down like super quick. And then two is like, it's interesting. I'm like, okay, this is what you're going to be. This is like a little glimpse of what you might be like when you're older. And I'm fine with it. He's a cool kid. But he just has those moments where he's like, hey, like I run the show. And
Every kid does. And that's where it's important to, I feel like, draw the line. You're like, I'm the parent. I'm in charge. I'm not your friend. I'm your parent.
Yeah, I don't know how your parents did it. She had twins, and I don't know how I'd react to twins.
Honestly,
Twins is hard because you have both of them at the same
At
age.
the same
growing
age,
up.
same time.
I'd be pretty pumped. Like we've talked about that. And it's just like, if we could do, because we both want like one of each sex,
That'd be cool.
and like, I'd be fine with having, I think I'm going to like, I've come around to the idea of being like a girl dad when that time comes.
Yeah.
Because like, I can entertain boys better because Hot Wheels action figures, you can entertain that way better. 'Cause that's the same stuff I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When you start busting out Barbies and like everything else that, typical girls play with, you lose me. I don't know. Like, I don't know that, but it's just like,
I mean, I feel like you'd be a great girl dad. I think you guys would both be great parents in general.
it's come, we've talked about it more the last like year of
Yeah.
like when it's going to happen and whatnot. But like, it always goes back to, what do we do first? Like, what's the right way to do it? Do you do a house first? Do you do kid first? Like, there's no right way to do it. It's just,
And it's weird when the economy is kind of imploding.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is so
But-
freaking expensive.
I've come around to being like a girl dad. I could definitely be a more entertaining dad as like having a boy. 'Cause again, same stuff that we did when we were kids. But for girls, it'd be different. But I think I could learn to do it and whatnot.
And I feel like you grow in a different way with a girl dad because a son, you grew up. You're a
Yeah.
guy, you grew up, you know the experience to some extent.
We were walking in Old Town last 2 weeks ago, and we went to a store, and there was a little girl dressed up as like a princess, and the mom just had like a tiara on, not like There wasn't anything else like extra about it, but like I could just it was super cute. It was just like she wanted to dress up as a princess. Hey, you can do that. And like, oh mom, can you do it too? And like that's what I imagined happened. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I was like, just put in like the little, because for a kid that goes a long way.
Yeah.
It's like when the parents get entertained the idea of that, you know, and it's pretty cool.
I will say when you become a parent, like your tolerance for like BS around, like from the outside world is just so much shorter.
Well, yeah, because your stress level and everything else from your kid is already that much higher. Like having to take it from a stranger or somebody like cut you off on the road is going to be that much more, irritating.
But do you feel like you care less about external bullshit because now you have kids to focus on? So
I worry that. So like I care less about external bullshit. But then like, for example, like there was one time we went to Target. Massey was about, I think he was 2. Yeah, he was around 2. And some like tweaker looking dude threw a ball into the cart where he was at. Like he was inside the cart and some tweaker looking dude just threw a ball inside, just kind of be like playful. And that fucking, I was livid. I looked at the guy like I was about to kill him and he's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, so it's whatever. But it's like that type of thing. You don't tolerate. Like, I don't know why. At first,
I feel like that's just a protective instinct, even if it was, playful, like he, if he meant to do that or whatever, but like, it's just like, it's still a complete stranger throwing something to your kid. So it's just like,
well, you hear all these things about what's happening like the kids, like kids get kidnapped from like parents not like watching them like a hawk or kids getting like molested by their own family members and shit like that.
That's the crazy one.
That's the crazy one. It's like when their own family, like your uncle and aunt, like fucks with the kid too. Like that's crazy. So we like anytime we go out, Mary and I are always with the kids. The kids never leave my sight. They never leave. Well, especially Julian, because Julian's like just a baby, but especially Massey. And like if we go in public, Massey has to stay right next to me. Like especially if we're in like a busy area, like for example, like Arts Alive.
Mm-hmm.
He has to stay next to me.
Crowd of everywhere. Yeah, I heard there was a video where it was a woman. She was just no, it was my coworker. She said that when her daughter was young, she'd say pocket, and her daughter would just put her hand in her back pocket and just had to stay there for certain like crossing the street, obviously like holding hands and stuff, but like in crowds of people like that, it's just like she say pocket and like hand goes in the back pocket and they stay with you the whole way.
I think that's a prison thing too, isn't it? So pocket.
Oh, I have no idea.
I think it's like if you do that in, a men's prison, it's kind of like, oh, this is my bitch.
Is that what?
Grab my pocket. I think.
Oh, grab my pocket. Yes, it is.
Right?
It
I
is.
feel like I saw that in a TV show though. I don't know how accurate that is.
It's probably not very accurate if we're gonna be honest.
It's still pretty funny. Hey, grab my pocket.
Your next guest could be a ex-con. You can ask him about it.
There's I was gonna say his name. I don't know if I want to put it out there, but there's a guy that we all know, the three of us know, that we went to school with, who was involved in a murder. And I thought about reaching out to him because he's out now, and just saying, "Hey, man, what was that like? Let's talk about this experience that
I think
you were
I know who
part
you're
of."
talking about. I actually 99%
I'm just gonna say like with the thing, drive by.
No, it was. Hold on. I mean, if I start talking about this, then I'm gonna feel compelled to bring him out there. It was.
Just don't say his name.
It was a couple of them in a car, and they picked somebody up.
They went over Samoa Bridge and ended up going to Samoa and stuff.
Yeah. People can find out about it now because it was a pretty. Did you ever hear about that?
No.
Oh, that was a while ago. That was probably what 4.
His name was Hector. I'll just.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe shit, but we'll just eat. I'll eat it. Hector. I'm not gonna say his last name.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to school with him. Does that ring a bell?
It does ring a bell.
He's been out for a while though. Now I think.
Yeah, he's got a job and everything. Like,
I think he's still local.
Cool. Well, last time I saw him, it was at his jobs, and that's been however long it's been. It's been not. I would say within the last year. So
Hector, that rings a bell.
Maybe
he was a nice guy, right?
He was
pretty decent, right?
Yeah, he's never like anything to us. He was always like friendly to us and everything. As far as I know, he's friendly to everybody.
I mean, I was surprised to hear about the case when it happened.
No, for sure, absolutely.
It wasn't like, oh, I could see that happening. It was like, this guy is involved in that. What?
I feel like it has to do with like surroundings.
Oh yeah,
like
what you get involved with.
Yeah,
one of the other girls that was involved in that. I didn't know. I remember it was middle school. It was Zane. I had one class with her, and so like that was the last time I talked to her or saw her. And so when that all happened, I saw like the picture in the Lost Coast Outpost thing. I was like, whoa! I never would have guessed that, but that was a long time from when it happened since middle school. So.
And you never know what experiences they went through that led them to that point.
No.
You know, I don't think you just wake up and decide to do that one day.
No, it has to be like a lot of different factors into it. Like you grow up, maybe like your at home lifestyle isn't the greatest, and then the people you surround yourself with is not the greatest.
Which think about how easy it is to slip into that. I hung out with some people that probably weren't on the best path at different points in my life.
Oh,
It's
did.
like, man, if I just stayed with them, where would I be right now?
I got a couple buddies in Kansas, one of the people I used to hang out with like all the time before I moved out here. And yeah, a few of them did time. I think one of them, I think he just got out of prison actually. But he did like gun smuggling and shit like that. And I'm like, if I was probably with you, like,
I might have been helping.
I might have been helping.
Yeah, one of my best friends, like as a kid, it's just like he's passed away now, but it was just like he just got super deep into like just the wrong crowd. And like even when we were younger, it was like just seeing him be like that. I was just like, okay, like, because I was like, I think I stopped hanging around with him probably middle school, like 8th grade is when I probably like stopped hanging out with him, like cut back a lot, and then started hanging out with you guys. And it was just, I never actually hung out with him again. It was like whenever I saw him and we'd, sit there and catch up or whatever. And then when he passed, I was like really sad, but like wasn't super surprised just with what he was doing in life and everything. It sucked. It still sucked, but.
Yeah, my mom loved the fact that I was hanging out with you guys. She loved the fact that I was hanging out with you guys.
If she knew some of the stuff we wouldn't actually did.
Yeah.
Opinion might change, but.
Opinion.
Yeah, but, she loved the fact that I was hanging out with you guys compared to like people that I was already hanging out with. Because back then, like they were like dressing in punk. That like one of my guys had like a huge ass mohawk, and then we just looked like a bunch of idiots, honestly. And then transitioned to like you guys. Yeah, she was ecstatic. It
would have been interesting to see you when you were in Kansas, because I remember when you first came to EHS.
Dude, I didn't know myself. If we're gonna be honest, like I was dressing weird.
Nobody did.
Yeah, I don't think any of us
None of us did.
At first, when I first came up, and I still had my long hair. Oh my gosh.
You were like almost emo adjacent, kind of a little punk rock.
Just weirdo. Like, it's just weird. It was a weird time. Like, I don't know. But like you guys said, like all kids go through that. But I definitely had my emo phase. You had long hair. You had the Justin Bieber flip going down.
Yeah, I had that.
The flip, dude. He was sad.
But that was like the style back then. A lot of people had the flip. That was it was in for a period of time.
Now it's the mullet. Has been the mullet for a while.
Dude, if I was growing up in this time, I'd for sure have a mullet.
I almost went mullet when I got my haircut.
I almost did
but
too.
my sister told me you can't be a part of the wedding if you're gonna do a mullet.
Did she really?
Yeah, because I was like, I want to get a mullet, and she said, nope, we're vetoing that.
I never wanted to. Zach and Jake, they were going to. And Zach actually did. Jake ended up not going through with it. But I was just like, nah, I won't do that. So,
yeah, not for me.
Like, I got no problem if you guys do it. I got no problem. If, like, when they were in the wedding and they wanted to have mullets, like, I don't care.
Oh, they were going to do it for the wedding?
It wasn't for the wedding, but if they just happened to have one for the wedding, like, they just happened to have it and then the wedding happened, they just never cut their hair, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Like, I don't give a shit. But it's just, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I talked to Maria about it, and she was like, that's a no-go. We're not doing that. Because, dude, I'd have the mullet. I grow out the stash and then probably just trim the beard.
I think you could pull off the mullet. You kind of got the party in the back going right now.
But that's with a beanie. Like, if anything, that's probably like as far as I'd go.
You think you're going to keep growing it out?
Yeah. I remember telling you at the gym, actually.
Yeah, you said you were going to go long.
Yeah, mid-back. I'm going.
That's going to take a minute. If you straightened it, it'd be a lot longer, but...
No, don't tell me about straightening. All right, you're giving me flashbacks. I don't need. Like, if I can delete my old Instagram, I would. I just don't know the password or the email.
Is it still up there?
Yeah, it's still up there. You can see me doing like little poses up here with like the camera and my hair all the way up my face, swoop to the side, and I'm just like, that's some bullshit ass quote that probably didn't make a difference.
If you did it, I don't know if it what it is now, but like in order. because like I had an old Instagram too, and it was just like in order to delete it, you had to go like on a computer or a laptop, and you couldn't delete it from your phone. Like you had to log in through like a desktop version and cancel it that way. You couldn't.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if they changed it since then or not, but yeah, you couldn't just be on the app and then delete your account, delete
I'll
the app.
do it,
and be
dude.
done.
I'll delete that
It's
shit.
probably still that. They probably want to make it hard for you to delete.
Oh yeah,
so
I'm
that
sure.
people stay on.
Because you got
Yeah.
lots of people that have probably 4 or 5 accounts out there. It's like I know a couple of people that have like 4 or 5 accounts, and I'm like I always forget like which one's their actual account or not.
Yeah, every now and then you get a new request for someone to follow you. And you're like, aren't we already following each other? What is this?
Yeah, no. I don't know. It could be a hacked account too. I get a lot of those where it's like the same people. But there's like no mutual friends. So I'm like, okay, I don't know you.
And they have like 3 followers.
3 followers or some bullshit
No
like that.
profile picture.
Yeah. And for some reason, like their bio's in Arabic.
Yeah, that might be a giveaway.
Like,
That might be a giveaway.
I'm okay.
I get all of the bots that are like fake porn accounts reaching out like, hey.
That was
And
the only reason I
Really?
switched my.
No way.
That was the only reason I switched my Instagram from public to private was because I kept getting new followers every day, but they were all fake accounts. Now it's like every day I probably get at least one a day, if not 2 or 3.
Is it you that has like a account for your truck?
That was when I deleted. Yeah.
You deleted that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you had like a ton of followers for that.
It got okay. It never got like crazy big or anything, but I just
Well, how
got
big
tired.
did you get? Like 1,000?
I was over that.
I thought it was like 6.
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
It wasn't that. It might have been 2, maybe, if that. But yeah, I deleted. I just got tired of it. I guess outgrew it. It was fun, like doing it, but it was just got to a point where I'm like, I don't care.
And then it's a lot of work. It's like, oh man.
I got to the point like I don't give a shit what anyone else says about my truck. I really don't. Like it's done. I'm not doing anything more to it. I'm not gonna. It doesn't make me feel better going to sleep at night. Other people like my truck. I don't care.
Yeah, you
Just
could
kinda-
get sucked into that.
It was a phase that was just like, again, it was fun to do it in the time, but I just got over it real fast.
I could remember. I think it was like what, every other week or some shit like that.
Oh, I don't know. There was times where like that was like one of the first things I do. If it was like after I got my exhaust put on and everything, it was just
Yeah.
like get the video posted up. Everyone's gonna see it. And now it's just like no one really cares. Like no one cares.
Some of those pages though get pretty big, and then people just monetize them, and
I
that's
was
how they
gonna
make
say,
a living. It's
Like
just
you can make a living off anything.
car
now.
pages.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
motorcycles. Motorcycle pages are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted to do that, like there's lots of people. Like when I looked into getting a motorcycle, it was like YouTube stuff on different bikes, and there's people that like they buy different bikes every couple of months and ride them around in different settings and this and that. Like they could actually talk about it, and then they sell it and get a new one, and that was like their whole deal. Which I never wanted to do that. So that like if you're gonna do that, I think social media is a great way to get yourself out there. But that was never the point of what I was doing.
That's how I kind
It
of
was almost just like a fad that was happening.
a huge fad. I started doing motorcycle vlogs when I was in Corvallis.
No way.
Yeah. I
Yeah?
didn't tell anybody. I think the page maybe had like 5 views. I think I made 3 videos and then realized how retarded I sound in it. Listening back to them, I was just like, this is not the avenue for
What
me.
would you
'Cause I'm-
talk about?
Just random things, random life things, nothing coherent, nothing interesting. Just me riding around Corvallis. I had the little GoPro mount on my chin, riding the bike.
I think those are actually badass, those videos.
Some of them. Some
Yeah.
people can do them and they're interesting. And I used to watch this guy do it with Dan, and he's a big like motorcycle influencer. He would go, dealerships would let him ride their bikes,
Mhm.
kind of advertise for them. And he was really good at it. And I was just not. I can't do the solo thing. I can't
No.
just monologue.
Well, there's a guy I don't follow, but I watch his videos, and he does it. He does the same thing, but he rides like an emo like a Saran. Like those things are
bikes are
badass,
Sweet.
super cool. And I really want one, but they're like fucking $3,000 or some shit like that.
Yeah, and then if you want to mod them to where you can actually go fast and whatnot, like the one guy you had on here, it's just like he was all about the mods and stuff, which was really cool. Like the fact that you don't have to have a motorcycle license to
No,
do something like that, and it's technically a bicycle, so you can be in the bike lane, but you're going fast enough, you can way past cars.
They
but
can
it's
get those things
just
going 70 miles per hour,
Mm.
yeah,
Which-
which is insane.
Yeah.
To be doing that in a
Insane.
bike lane,
you can go on the fucking freeway if you really wanted to. Like that's crazy.
it might be a little sketch. I don't know how stable those things are at high speeds. Like
not stable. Like Zach's bike, it's like it's super small. It's like you could go you can go like through the safety corridor, but like that thing's going to be pegged out. You're going to be this and that. Like that was the thing with motorcycle. When I was looking at them, it was like, I'm a first time rider, so I want to get something on the smaller side, but can still go to and from work, so it's got to be able to go highway speed, but I don't need to go 200 miles an hour on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, well, if you're going to do this size, stick around town. Because if you go, it's able to go on the freeway, but if you do, you're going to get blown around real easy by cars passing you and this and that because it doesn't weigh much. And so you go to the next size up, it's a little bit more power, but it weighs more, so you're a little more stable.
Because I think those were also like 100 pounds or less.
I have no idea what they weigh. I see them every once. I think they're cool as shit. Because especially when you can get like off-road tires and stuff and go on trails or whatever, like you put on street tires and you ride it around town. Like I think it's really cool. But
What does Zach ride? It's like a little 125.
it's a Honda Grom, but it's a Kawasaki version.
Okay.
And so it's small. It only goes like, I mean, he can get it to go if you're going downhill, the wind going with you, and you're like crouched way down, like he can, I think he's hit probably 60, 65, but then like that thing is pegged out. It doesn't want to, but like if you're just going to putt around town, like the thing's got a 1.5 gallon, 2 gallon tank maybe. And like he can ride it for 2 weeks and not have to fill up.
Yeah.
Or
that's
2
a
weeks
nice
until
thing.
he fills up. Like that. Yeah. If you're just going to ride around town, that's all you care about, then it's not a big deal. But going on the freeway, like he can go on Old Arcata Road and stuff, like do the loop from Arcata to Eureka, but anything more than that. Because those things, he said that there's people that are in like communities and will like do road trips and stuff with those things. I'm like, yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Those things are so small.
Yeah.
And I've seen big people riding those things too. Like I've seen big people riding those and I'm like, holy shit.
I was thinking about getting a little Grom after talking with Zach, seeing him ride his around. But
Zach loves his. Like it's super.
They're fun little
likes
bikes
it.
to
It's
mob
really
around
fun.
town with.
Especially like you can like he bought a brand new one for like $4,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not like it's crazy expensive. I mean, it's just like, but it's what else are you gonna buy that's brand new that's $4,000? And again, comes with limitations. You can't even take it on the freeway. It's a small bike, but it's just like just to putt around town. It's no big deal.
Save on gas.
Mine should be better than e-moto because I'd be seeing some wild videos of people like their battery just catches on fire.
Really?
Yeah. Just like all of a sudden just combust. Or there's like one video out there where a guy, he's carrying a battery packet inside an elevator. And then the battery just all of a sudden just burst into flames. And he was stuck in the elevator and he died.
Oof.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he passed away.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. So like if I was gonna get an e-bike, I'd probably just keep that shit outside, honestly.
I think it's really cool, the electric scooters, like the Bird scooters and the Lime scooters and stuff.
Riding those around town
It's
in
so fun.
Sac
That
for
was
your bachelor party
That was fun as hell.
That was fun.
That was super fun. Made me realize that we should have ridden that to the fucking, what's it called? The baseball stadium.
Oh,
yeah, that probably would have been a good idea.
That would've been a good call.
Great idea.
It was a farther walk than we thought.
Yeah, well, it was a fun walk.
Yeah.
It was a fun walk, but then Dustyn was like, oh yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there.
Psych.
You see that point? And we get to the point. He's like, actually, you see that bridge? Fucking 2 miles over there? It's over there.
That was mainly for Jake, though. That was mainly for Jake to just, because he doesn't like walking. So it was just like, oh yeah, you see that bridge? Yeah, we gotta go past that.
Yeah, you don't want to psych him out.
It was funny, though.
He's still with that one girl, right?
Which one?
His, I don't fucking know her name. I saw them walking at Stinky Beach, that one trail. She's brunette. She goes to the gym.
Way to narrow it down. Damn.
She's white.
She's a girl.
She's a girl. She believes she's a girl.
She identifies as a girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. Never mind. Skip that.
But I mean, I don't know. Like he's with a girl named Jasmine now.
Who the fuck's Jasmine?
Okay, so a different girl.
There might be a
You're
different
thinking
girl.
a different girl.
Might be different.
Might be a different girl. How long have they been dating? It's kind of been a while now, though,
It's
hasn't
been
it?
over a year.
Damn.
Oh, then it might be Jasmine.
Okay.
When did you see him?
Probably like a little bit less than a year ago. So actually,
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah. I don't see very much people very much at all.
I don't get out very much anymore, which is awkward for a guy that's single in his 20s.
It's weird for me to see people in high school.
Yeah, that is kind of. I see him at the gym. That's
Do
when
you?
I see most people that we went to high school with. Yeah.
And like, I'm just like, just don't look at me. Like, I don't want to talk. Let's just not do that.
Well, the reunion's coming up soon.
Fuck.
10
10 years.
I might not be invited to that. I didn't graduate from
Yeah, well,
Eureka High.
We'd bring you in.
I don't know. I don't even know if I'd go.
Would you want to go?
Probably not.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See everybody?
Well, there's no one on with. I see you guys. Like, I'd rather see you guys.
I can share that attitude. And there's some people that I'm just like, and I don't think there's anyone that we like went to school with that I was just like, yeah, I don't want to see them. Like, I don't think there's anyone in our class I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to see them. But it's just like there's some people like I see they're doing good and stuff. That's all. That's cool. Like, I don't need to have a conversation or nothing. You know, I ran into Tyler Evenson at the races last time they had a race over there, and I sat there and chatted with him. That was cool. It was like a 10-minute conversation, you know, if that. But it was really cool.
Tyler did the podcast a while ago, I think. That was pretty cool to catch up with him. We were in here for a while in the old studio.
Yeah. Well,
He's like a physical therapist now.
Yeah, he's going to school for that. He's still got a couple of years or something like that, I think he said. But like, yeah, seems to be doing good, which is nice. I always like Tyler.
I'm the opposite. There's like probably, besides you guys, I can't really think of another person what like I'd want it to catch up on. If we're gonna be honest, because like even during high school, like yeah, I'd say I'd be like super friendly, but I'd barely remember the people's names. I was terrible with names. I kept calling people Bud.
Yeah, remember that? How's it going, bud? And we just know, oh, Caz doesn't know his name. That was our giveaway.
He knew the face and he talked to him before. But he didn't know the
I'm
face.
super good with faces, but when it comes to names, I just don't know.
Well, especially like when you had like the job in the mall, I feel like you probably saw a lot of people walking through there.
Yeah, and it was
Or maybe
awkward then.
not. That place is pretty dead now, but
I haven't been in there in years.
Back then, it wasn't as dead, but it was dying.
yeah.
It was definitely dying.
I heard the food court's like all boarded up now.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, there's only like what 2-3 places there. There's the Mexican place, the
there's just the
sushi
Chinese
place,
place, that's
and the
it.
Chinese place.
I think it's just a Chinese place.
Oh, you think the Mexican place closed too?
No, I mean, like, besides, like, there's just the Chinese
gotcha.
and the Mexican place.
Okay.
Oh, I think the Mexican place did close.
No way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name.
I know that owner died, but, like, I'm pretty sure someone else took over.
It's crazy because like where the Mexican place is, it used to be Switver's Saloon, and I hear people all the time like rave about that place. They miss that place. Like that was a lot of
Like an actual saloon?
yeah. It was a bar. They had like a rest. They had like food. There was like a whole ass bar and the food court in the mall, and people loved that place. They had like karaoke and they had comedy nights and all this kind of stuff.
Oh,
like,
that would be cool.
I've heard a lot of people like really like that place. They always had a good time.
Yeah, but a bar at Eureka Bayshore Mall.
Well, you got to think this is like 20 years ago or more when, you know, the mall was actually still a thing and not, you
People
know.
would actually want to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's actually that card. They actually opened a card place where you like for like Magic, you know, the card game Magic.
Magic the Gathering?
Yeah,
That one?
Magic the Gathering, where you can do like little tournaments and stuff like that. And I recently found out like the owner, like one of the co-owners, sexually molested yeah.
Whoa, that took a turn. That's not where I
Yeah,
thought.
it wasn't-
No, like,
At
I recently
all.
found out like the co-owner sexually molested like a minor under 15.
Ooh,
Oh.
damn.
Yeah, that was actually a recent thing. I just found out. That was like
Ouch.
about like
Whoa. And
4 days ago?
it happened recently?
I don't know if it happened recently, but his face is getting blown up right now. That's for sure.
Hmm.
And then it's like that one, and there's a card place. I forgot what it's called, but
Well, I mean, I was at the mall today. I went to the bank, but like that was it. It was a quick bank in and out. It wasn't anything else.
yeah, that's pretty much what I do if I have to go. That's like the only time I go is like if I have to go to the DMV or if I have to go to the bank on the weekend. That's about it. Actually, I don't know where I was gonna go. I lost my train of thought.
I think the last time I was there was probably for the DMV years ago.
Isn't that wild though? There's a DMV inside our mall.
I think that speaks to how bad the mall's going.
Yeah.
It's not going to be there much longer. They got the old Harley Davidson location
Yeah.
on the north end of town. They're going to go in there.
Well, that's a big spot.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, they're gonna go in there. Which half the stuff in DMV now you can't even do. Like if you want to go in there to pay your registration, like I don't think you can do that anymore. It's online only. Like there's a lot of stuff you only have, like you can only do online.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. It's like, well then, what's the point of having a whole new office then? Especially one that big.
Yeah.
How long do I keep this in?
I think you could do like 45 minutes.
Oh,
You could pull it out now if you want to pull it out.
it's debating on it. I'm like wired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm starting to build up a tolerance now.
I felt it. It felt nice, but it was just like I like the flavor's gone. But
What's up?
I was just seeing how long we've had it in. I don't know.
If you build up a tolerance, what do you do? Just put like 3 of these fuckers in?
I know guys that will have like 12 milligrams in. So 2 6s or 4 3s.
No, I'm okay.
yeah, I mean, like for the first time, that's not bad. Like I don't dislike that at all. But it's like next time I come on the podcast, I'll probably put one in. But it was just like going out and buying it. I don't know. Like,
Especially again in California where they don't have the flavors.
Yeah, I don't mind it though.
I've got a coffee one that's pretty good too.
Yeah, I got that.
A coffee one?
Yeah.
Like coffee flavored?
Yeah, you can try that one next. I got it over there on the table.
I'm solid, dude. I'm gonna be lasted until I go home.
Yeah, the flavor of the Zin's gone, but like the scar's almost gone too. So
Yeah.
I know I could have got a bigger cigar. I wasn't sure.
no,
I mean,
No,
the ones
that's
we
good.
got for your wedding were
Those were massive.
way too big.
Those were massive. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That was too big. That was too much.
I remember you were puffing through the what's it called? Just the place in general. You just go inside, just puff
Well,
away.
yeah, I was just carrying the cigar with me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was like, well, I guess
I
we're
guess
smoking inside now.
I'm doing this.
Nobody said anything, so.
No.
And then people started coming up to me and wanting to take a toke. I was like, okay. I think a couple of people took it and went off and then brought it back.
Yep.
It was just way too big.
I'm like, yeah.
All right, guys.
I'm like, yeah, just keep it.
Yeah.
I don't see who's hitting it. I don't need it back.
I gave mine away because someone gave it back and it was just full of slobber. And I was like,
Ooh,
I'm okay.
Yeah.
You can take that. That's probably one thing. I don't really like sharing cigars if they're going to be like licking it, you know?
I don't really share anything anymore after COVID.
Yeah.
That was kind of
that's
like
fair.
a weird effect it had on me. And I'm like, okay, let's.
Remember one time we went to a house party in high school, and it was like, you bring your own bottle and stuff, and it was just like you see whoever you're just like, oh, here, take a pull, and then like I came to my cousin one time and I told him, he's like, how many people have drank off this? I'm like, I don't know. Like I knew everybody who did, but
Wasn't keeping track.
I have no idea how many people.
I don't know. I think just after high school, as you grow up, I just hate going out to places. I'm such an homebody now. Like I'll just go to work, gym, home.
Well, and you've got a wife and kids now. I feel like
Yeah.
home is kind of the spot to be.
Those are the people I hang out with all the time. They're like the only people I talk to is my wife and kids. And that's pretty much how I like it, really. Like,
Yeah, you get a lot less BS that way. Like you go to
Yeah.
the bar, like we don't go to the bar every weekend, but there's been times where like if she wants to go out, I'm just like, yeah, go out. I'll stay up, or you give me a call, wake up, and I'll come get you. It's not a big deal. There's one time she was out with her friends in an arcade till 6 a.m. And I woke up and went and got her. I'm like, I don't care, whatever.
that's crazy. See, I can't do that.
I don't know if I could stay awake that long anymore.
No, I'm in bed like at 9 latest. Because my kids wake up at like 5:36. So I was like, geez.
There's been a couple times going out to the bar because like with you and Braden, it's like, yeah, you got, wife and kids and whatnot. So I was like, I don't think they're going to go, but it's just like you going out to the bar. And I'm just like, I wonder what Nick's doing. I wonder if he can come over, come hang out. But
Yeah, I got to start going out more.
ah,
The problem is we don't really have that great of a nightlife scene here.
No.
I personally don't really care for going to the bar. Like I never really have. It's just if I'm going to have beer or enjoy my time, I'd rather be with people. Like I don't go to the bar to meet new people. Like I don't care about anyone else that I don't know at the bar. And it's just like usually I just drink beer, so it's just like
a cigarette.
I can spend the money on a 12-pack, and that's going to last me a lot longer and be a lot cheaper than going to the bar and buying a bottle every 20 minutes or how often it is,
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, how much is beer at the bars now?
I don't know.
Like $6?
I mean, I usually get like a Bud Light or a Budweiser or something like that, and it's usually like $3 or $4.
Oh,
But it's like then you feel obligated to tip the bartender and stuff and whatnot. But then you got to wait in line to do it. There was one time we went to the basement in Arcata, and that was a really cool spot. But it was me and my friend were sitting at the bar and waited, trying to be as nice as I could. I'm not pushing my way up to the bar. Like just not that kind of person. And then we get there and she works her way down and we're shoulder to shoulder. And then she gets him a beer and then she goes off to the other side of the bar and just starts the line again. I'm like, God, I was so pissed though. I was like, waited like half an hour for just a beer. I'm like, I just want a beer. I'm not asking for a special drink. I'm not asking for anything that you actually have to make. You literally open the fucking fridge, pop the top, hand it to me. We're done. Like, it's like I could rather do that at home with people who I want to hang out with versus people at the bar that I don't care about.
And you guys aren't screaming to talk to each other.
Yeah, but it's just like a lot of other times, everybody else wants to go out to the bar, so I'm like, okay, well, like whatever. So,
I actually have Oak's old coworker. His name's Fred. He told me like a really solid move is where you go up and you just immediately like, give him a big tip,
Yeah, off the first drink.
like the first drink, and be like, "Hey, just remember me. Like when this gets packed, just remember me. And there's more where that came from."
I think that's a really good way to do it for sure. But it's just like if I'm getting a beer, I don't want to give someone a $20 tip just so the next time I come up, I get a beer faster. I'd rather just spend that $20 on a 12-pack or more and go to my house and have it there.
True, but if you had the money, if you had the money,
that's
that'd
a big
be
difference too.
Yeah.
But,
that'd be
Yeah, if you have the money.
that'd be the move right there.
but like went to the casino for a concert a couple years ago. And after the concert, we went to the actual casino and the bar was open, it was popping long ass line. And then somebody was just like, oh, there's a bar over in the lobby at the hotel. And just go over there. And so I'm just like, don't tell anybody, just go. Like everybody that we were with, like, let's leave right now. Cause it was going to be a minute before we got to the bar.
And it probably wasn't packed in the hotel.
Oh, hell no. It was way over. And we got to meet the guy who played the concert. So that was cool as shit.
Oh, that's sick.
And it was just, I got to sit there and chit chat with him for probably 5 minutes, And so it was way cool. But like,
What was the concert?
Easton Corbin.
Oh, shit.
Mhm.
Damn.
Jake and I got to meet him. We got a picture with him. The girls got a picture with him. Sit there and chit chat with him for like 5 minutes.
Right on. I have no idea. I don't know who that is.
Country singer.
Oh, there's a reason right there.
There's another guy coming on. I don't know if it's in September. I got to reach out to him to see if I can get him in here. But
Rodney Atkins.
Rodney Atkins, yeah.
That'd be pretty cool if you get him.
I know that would be pretty tough.
That'd be really cool.
I don't know if we're going to see what kind of.
Well, the thing is like they're busy. So like with Easton Corbin, it was just like he's like, yeah, I had a concert yesterday. We drove up overnight or whatever. Been here all day, kind of prepping. He's like, tomorrow, wake up in the morning and we're going to wherever we're going. And I'm like, damn, I think he was going to it wasn't quite the Bay Area, but it was like down south somewhere to play another concert like the next night. So I'm like, I don't think they have a lot of time in their schedule to do it, but that'd be really cool if you could get them on here. Like
that's the problem is they're in and out.
Yeah, they're in and out fast.
I mean, if they get here the night before, it's a stretch. Like usually they come up day of, and then they're leaving.
Which I mean, he's been around for a while, but you get like Luke Combs when he does a concert, it's just like he performs Friday and Saturday. But then he gets to spend he's so big, he doesn't need to play at casinos or smaller venues like that, so he can spend 3 or 4 days at home and then go out on the road for the weekend or whatnot, which is still a lot of time away from home. But he's so big, he has the ability to only perform once or twice a week and be at home half the time.
Go a little slower
Which
pace.
the people who aren't as big, they've been around a lot longer, but they're not as big, they got to do it all the time. And I'm like, that would get super tiring, man. Like, that would suck.
Just living on the road
Mm-hmm.
out of a tour bus. If you're lucky, out of a tour bus.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're out of a van
Yeah, that's not
with
it.
4 or 5 other people
No shower.
No shower.
shower, dude.
doing laundry out of the laundromats in between shows.
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy come on the podcast that was doing that.
Really?
After we finished the podcast, yeah, he got his bandmates picked him up. They were going to go do laundry and then drive into the next show.
That's a heck of a life, dude.
But that would be so much. I mean, it would suck. I think that part. But I bet it's pretty crazy to get in front of a crowd, even if it's only 20 people, and sing or play an instrument and perform
Well, your adrenaline would be just through the roof.
Oh man,
Through the roof.
especially if you're gaining traction.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see the silver lining of, man, we might actually make this work.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be like one of the best like professions out
Being
there.
a rock star.
Yeah, if you could be a musician and go out there and like have the whole arena wherever you're at just singing your song back to you, it's like that's insane.
Especially at Luke Combs's level.
You've
got
reached that many people.
Tens of thousands of people
You've
just
reached that many people.
screaming.
Yep.
You don't even have to sing your lyrics. They're doing that
Just
for
put
you.
up the microphone
Yeah.
For you. And they're having a good time doing it.
Yeah.
It's like they pay to watch you sing, but then you just can start. You can just drop your microphone, just listen to the crowd, and like they feed into it. They know that you like it, and so then they start playing again. But it's pretty cool.
I've only been to one concert, and it was fun. But man, there's a lot of people.
I saw Post Malone live.
Did you?
Crazy.
Did you go and see him in Wheatland?
yeah.
Yeah, Sabrina's sister went to that concert too.
It was a great venue. It's like a little amphitheater outside. It was hot as fuck. Everybody in the crowd was just dripping in sweat.
I bet.
Did you get a seat or did you sit in the grass?
We got a seat. We were
Okay.
we were a couple levels below the grass. But
So-
the grass was cool because you could set up like a little blanket.
The grass is super cool because we went and saw Brooks and Dunn there in June, and it was super cool. But if you two or anyone else listening goes to the amphitheater, I would put in the money and go get a seat because the grass was super cool, but you got to get there early because it's first come, first serve. So we got relatively close to the backs of the seats, so but once that place filled up, I mean, you couldn't even,
Oh, if you got there late,
you
good luck.
you couldn't see the grass. It was people just everywhere. But the biggest thing was the bugs, man.
Yeah.
And they're like just swarms of like gnats just everywhere. Like they're on people's hair, they're people's hats, they're everywhere in people's faces and shit. And you can't get rid of them. Where it's like, it looked like if you were down in the seats, no bugs.
Yeah,
just,
we didn't
it's just
have
because you were in the
gnats.
grass. And it was like right when the sun was going down, like the last like half an hour to 45 minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that. It was just, yeah. Once the sun went down, they were gone. But you're gonna deal with that in the grass. So it's cheaper for sure to do that, but if you don't want to deal with that, definitely get a seat.
Way cool amphitheater though.
Oh, it was super cool.
I mean, for a music venue,
Yeah.
killer.
Just for me, it's just like being around that many people. It's just a buzzkill for me.
yeah, I mean, we went and saw Luke Combs this year, and it was Levi Stadium where the Niners play. Place was packed. There was a bunch of people. Like
Yeah.
leaving that place, it was just,
A nightmare.
we were like cattle. It's just, there's the tunnel, and everyone's shoulder to shoulder, and then once the gates open, it's just cars and people everywhere, and it fans out real fast. Trying to get an Uber, fucking forget about it. We spent $80 on an Uber ride to get back to our hotel. Our hotel was a 7-minute drive from the venue.
$80, huh?
$80.
Yeah,
But
forget
I mean,
that.
it really helped, like, because the one girl that we were with, she put up the money and then everyone just paid her, so like you break it up, it's not that bad. But yeah, $80 for an Uber ride. It's because and that was after we walked around for probably 45 minutes or more, like trying to find one, canceling Ubers, like,
And imagine the people that couldn't find one. They're like, I guess we're
Uh-huh.
walking.
Walking, dude. That's
However
it.
far we gotta go.
and so because we had like, I want to say 8 people. So we got 4 people in the Uber with us, and we went back to the Airbnb. One person wasn't drinking, so me and him went back in one of our cars and picked up the rest of the people that we were with. So they had to sit there and wait on the curb while we were gone. And like, yeah, I mean, it was an ordeal, but
There's just so many people,
yeah,
especially at a venue
it's
like
just,
that.
it is
There's
what it
just
is.
So many people in one area.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's just like, no, like I just get uncomfortable even thinking about it.
Once you get in and you're at your seats, the experience is good.
Well, I think I wouldn't mind if I was like with like friends, right? Like let's say like going to the Giants game with you guys at San Fran, or even going to like a trip on SAC. Like I'm fine with that, being around like a whole bunch of people, but I'm with friends. If I'm by myself, I'm fucking miserable. Like I even hate going to the grocery store when it's packed. Like
Yeah, for sure. But with the concert is a little bit different because it's just like going into it, it's just going to be like that. So
yeah,
the sooner you can like break that to yourself, it makes it a lot easier. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just like, it's going to be 2 hours after the concert's over before I even get home, maybe. It is what it is.
But the 2 hours during, you're fine. Because you're in your seats. Not everybody's up at the same time moving around.
yeah,
You're solid.
yeah.
It's just the before and the after that
just
Kind of
really
really
fucking
sucks.
suck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you go to
Really
like
suck.
that concert for a tall boy, $20.
Why?
$20 for a
Because
beer.
they can.
Why?
Because they
That's
can.
why. Because
So-
they can.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
goodness.
for mixed drinks, it was more. I want to say it was either 60 or 80 that one of our friends and Sabrina got a drink. And for the two of them, it was 60 or $80.
That feels like that should be illegal.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
So I talked to a coworker about it after it was all, because this is ridiculous. I knew it was going to be expensive, you know, like I knew beer, because I pregame before we went to the concert, like an hour and a half before the concert started. I was sitting in the sun, had a couple of mixed drinks, like I was big chunks. I'm like, I'm not going to spend, I will buy a beer when we get there for sure, but I am not going to keep buying beers at $20 a pop, because I thought I was expecting to be like 15, you know, so 20 was even a little bit more than what I was expecting. But I'm just like, I bought one tall boy and I didn't buy a single another one, because I was like, I don't want to go wait in line. I don't want to miss the concert. I don't want to spend the money. Like, I'm good.
And that's the way to do it. You want to pregame beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just gotta
Save
be
some
careful
money.
you don't pregame too much, because then you're a nightmare at the
Yeah.
event.
Yeah. And that's, you're hoping that you make it there. I went to a Kenny Chesney concert with my family one time, and somebody was telling us that I think it was this lady who was part of a group, and maybe one or two of her friends didn't make it because they pregame so hard beforehand that they were just like, I can't.
We went to the Red
concert.
Bluff Roundup this year, and it was 2:00 in the afternoon, and there was a girl getting carried out of the stands by all of her friends and stuff, because she was just
Well, that's a memory right there.
You're not going to remember
Not
that.
for her.
You're not
Friends
going
are
to
gonna
remember
remember
it.
that.
Yeah, not
Friends are
for-
going to remember.
yeah, not for her. It was just like 2:00.
What time did they start playing? Is it like an all day thing?
Well, that was at a rodeo. That was
okay.
Yeah, that was just a big party, you know, whatever. And
She has 2:00 at a rodeo is almost crazy.
she just got real drunk real fast or something, because she was not well. She was getting carried out. People were trying to like give her water, and but she wasn't, like, at that point you're a zombie. You gotten sick. You're just like, you don't know where you're at. You just want to go home. Like, you're just completely limp. She's just getting like carried by two people just dragging her. It was like, that's sucks.
That does suck.
Yeah, you don't want to be there. There's a level you want to hit when you're drinking that's like buzzed,
Yep.
slightly over
Just,
buzzed,
and
where
just
you're in a good
stay
place.
there,
Yeah.
And then just maintain that.
I don't even remember what that feels like, because I just kind of just completely stopped doing everything. Really?
I
Is
think
it
the
like
last time I was really buzzing, I wasn't like blacked out or at that level, but it was your wedding.
Yeah.
Because I walked over to the bar to start taking a shot, and then it was just a wave of people coming in like, let's take shots.
Yeah.
When we went to our anniversary trip in San Francisco, there was a spot where her and I don't remember, like we went and got food, and then we don't remember like walking back to the hotel or anything. We were both like getting sick in the bathroom. It was not it. But before that, it was the 4th of July. Prior to that, that was real bad. But
It's easy. One
that
drink too
doesn't-
many.
that doesn't happen to me very often. Usually I'm because I don't want to spend the money at the bar. I don't want to be around, especially like being in a place that you're not familiar with, like San Francisco or
Yeah.
Sacramento, like wherever you're at, you don't know.
Yeah.
And then being drunk or over the line on top of that, and it's just, you can get into trouble fast if you're not careful.
Oh,
So it's
super
like,
quick.
I'd rather just keep it mellow, and like I can have a buzz going, sure, but it's like really, when I'm out of town, really walk that line to where I'm not going to get any worse than I am now.
If you're plastered, you could say the wrong thing to the wrong person like real quick.
Well, you also want to remember, like, you know, we went to the concert, and like, you want to remember the concert. You want to remember everything about it. You don't want to just get there and get absolutely shithouse, and then, you know, you're like, oh shit, I went to the concert, but I don't remember anything about it. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, you don't want to get to the point where you need someone to take care of you, especially if it's just you and the person you're with, and you're both at that level. Who's going to take care of you?
Mm-hmm.
You're just hoping that the city is going to treat you nicely.
I was
Did you find
praying
your way back?
hard. I was praying hard that I wasn't gonna like just like eat shit at your wedding. Like when everything was starting to go down, everyone was just having a party.
That was early too, because we had to be out of there by 11.
Yeah.
11 wasn't even late, and like there wasn't many people left. Like, because we didn't stay the whole time. We went back to the hotel room, but it was just like, that wasn't even late. 11 o'clock, you still got like 2-3 more hours
No,
or more.
I can't even recover the same. Like if I
Oh
get,
man, the next day.
yeah, the next day I can't just recover the like I used to be able to get drunk and then next day maybe throw up like a little bit here and there and then be fine.
Still get a workout in.
Yeah, and then now if I get plastered, I know it's gonna be like a 3-day hassle that I'm gonna have to deal with.
There was one time Sabrina got super like drunk and like, yeah, it was a 2-day thing.
Yeah, see, that's just
Have it like the whole day the next day is
Okay.
usually like, it's a pretty fair thing with her. But it was like, yeah, that one time, I forget what it even was, but it was like, yeah, it was a 2-day deal. Me, even if I get like that bad, I can get up, walk around, still do stuff. Like I might not be feeling 100%, but like I'm good. We're fine.
If I'm drinking, I know my next day's shot. I just accept that at this point.
yeah.
Not even that I'm going to be throwing up or anything like that. I just recognize that you're killing your second day.
Yeah. If I had work, I'd probably just call off. Be like, what happened? I got fucked. I got hammered.
Yeah, there was the one time after the 4th of July time, it's like I'd work the next day. Because it was like at that year, the 4th was on a Tuesday. And I had to go to work the next day. And I woke up I slept on the bathroom floor that night. And then
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was butt naked on the bathroom floor. She woke me up.
Oh my
at
gosh.
She woke me up at like 6 o'clock and was just like, hey, why don't you come to bed and, go. And I'm like, okay. And went to bed. She woke me up at 7 o'clock. She's like, this, and this happened. I'm like, no, it didn't. She's like, yes, it did. I'm like, huh, okay. And so I felt fine when I woke up. And once I got to work, I'm like, shit, I can feel it coming. But it was just like at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, it was fine. I was golden. I felt fine. But it was just getting to that point. I'm just like, I'm not having the greatest time. Like I was okay, but it was just like, would I rather go to sleep right now? 100%. But I'm not to the point where like I can't do anything.
After your wedding, dude, I spent the whole day in bed. I didn't give a shit. I was like, I'm not today.
Not me. I had to go up and get our shit packed and drive to San Francisco. So
Yeah, you had shit to do.
yeah, that was a rough time. We spent the night roughly in the airport, and it was just like trying to get a couple hours sleep before we got in the flight. It was just like we should have went like the next day after that, taken that day off to like kind of just recoup and recharge, and then the next day
Then
drive and whatnot. But
Yeah, to drive hungover too is brutal.
I think the only thing I did was go pick up my car. And that's about it. But
I think that's what I did too. Was just go get my truck. Probably that whole day.
yeah. Didn't I go with you? I went with someone.
You might have gone with me. Yeah. You
because
might have
Brandon
gone
and
with
Mary
me.
had their own car, and they drove you home, so they
did.
They didn't go back.
They did. And I briefly remember that. But I know I was saying some like ridiculous shit like, oh, just point at someone. You want me to fucking kill him? I'll fucking kill him.
Well, I had stuff to do.
You were ready to go.
I was ready to go. I don't like drinking in general.
Yeah, I've got to the point where like if I never drink again, I'd be okay. But like I'm still at the point like I do like to have.
There's something about having a beer.
I like
after a long
having.
day.
Yeah, I like having a beer. I don't want to 100% get and understand why people don't drink because it's just like it makes you feel like shit. It's expensive. There's no benefit to it at all. It's not like you're getting. It's not like it's healthy for you to do it.
No.
It's just destructive to you. But it's just like doing it in moderation. Like I enjoy it.
I mean, I kind of cleared away from all that type of life. Like being in any type of situations like bars or going to the smoke shops or whatever. Probably whenever I started getting a little bit more closer to my faith. Because I'm starting,
What has that been like for you? Because you weren't very religious back in high school. Right?
No, I was like far from religion. And I wouldn't say I'm like following a religion. I'm following a man. Because then there's people like saying they're Catholic and Christians and stuff like that. And I am a Catholic. Like I was brought up Catholic. But mainly I'm just a follower of Christ now. Which is weird for me to say that even now. And I'm freshly trying to get more involved into it. But back then, like the church hurt me in a certain way. And then I heard like a certain quote happen where it was like, hey, no, Jesus didn't hurt you. The church hurt you. I was like, fuck. All right. Yeah, that's kind of deep. And it's been nice. I'm not gonna lie. It's been nice. It's kind of weird to talk about it to people because then they kind of give you like, oh, dude, you're a Jesus thumper, you're a Bible thumper type of dude. I'm like, I'm still the same fucking guy. Like I sin every day, but like I'm trying to be more like Jesus, which is impossible. And the more I look into it, the more I realize that there's nothing I can do, which is a weird feeling. You grew up Catholic, no?
Grew up Catholic, hardcore Catholic, Sunday school, baptism, confirmation, communion,
Yeah.
whole 9 yards, and then got out of it. I think I got out of it because my mom was just so tired of fighting me. I just made such a big deal out of it for so long that she was finally like, okay, fine.
That was me with my parents. Like I kept on. Like, I was like, I'm not going to church. I don't want to go to church. I want to sit at home,
play some video games, put on COD,
hang out with the boys. That's all I want to do. And then eventually just kind of gave up. And then I started having that mindset like all church people are pretty hypocritical, which they are. I like
a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them are hypocritical. But if you look at the Bible and stuff like that, and you actually hear the teachings, then you realize that a lot of it is just their own ego, but it's not the actual teachings of like Jesus Christ. Are you religious at all?
Not really. And not really. Like I've never gone to church or anything. Like my family just wasn't really super into it, so it was just never something that was really pushed on it. Like both of my parents, I think, they believe in a higher power, and whatnot. And sometimes my dad, he'll kind of get into it a tiny bit. My grandpa was pretty big into religion and stuff when I was a kid, and like I'd ask him stories. He had a picture of Jesus on the wall and stuff, and it's just like or he had like a Bible quote too, and I couldn't tell you what it said, but it was just asking him about stuff and like having him tell me stories and stuff as a kid trying to understand. It was interesting, but it was just never pushed on me, and I never like tried to pursue it either. So
there's one Bible quote that I probably would want to get like tatted on me. Oh, I'll probably do another one here soon. I don't know. Usually one beer is enough for me.
It's a fair rule.
Yeah, dude. Like whenever I stop drinking, like I can't handle.
I figure we're probably going to be here for a while longer, so.
Huh?
So I figure we're going to be here for a while longer, so might as well.
Do it. Absolutely.
We can be here as long or as short as you guys want to be.
That's I miss you guys. I miss your guys' faces. All right. For those who can't see these handsome individuals,
go to the YouTube page.
Go to the YouTube page. You'll see them just fine. But no, there's my favorite Bible verse is Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. Then I heard the voice of the Lord say, "Who shall we send, and who shall go for us? And I said, Here am I, send me." And then I just kind of just roll with that quote for forever now. Like if anything happens, send me, dude. I'm here. If someone needs to be saved, I'm here. If my kids need help, send me. I'm here.
Shout out to the movie Fury.
Is that a quote in Fury?
Yeah, they use that quote. They're in the tank. Yeah. Shit's about to hit the fan. Shia LaBeouf delivers that line. Great fucking scene in the movie. Great movie. I really like that movie.
I haven't seen that movie yet. I want to. I think it's on my watch list on HBO.
It's good.
But I haven't watched it yet.
Who's in the movie?
It's got Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf.
It's got the guy who plays
Logan
Punisher.
Lerman. Yeah, which I'm drawing a blank on his name.
I forget his name, but yeah, he plays like the newest version of Punisher. He's in there.
He's got a podcast.
He was in The Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
I think
right?
so, yeah.
He was Shane, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know the
That
guy's
was
name.
badass. I didn't know it was in the movie.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's like John Bernthal. That's it.
Yeah, there you go.
Didn't even have to Google it. Off the Dome. He's got a podcast. I think it's a pretty big podcast too. I listened to one he did with, I think it was like an ex-cop or something. That was pretty good. He did one with Shia LaBeouf that was pretty good too.
What's that movie about? So it's about is it military?
World War
You said tanks, right?
Yeah. World War One? No, World War II. I think they're fighting the Nazis.
Oh, that's badass because I've actually heard that quote's like popular with the military.
Great. The way that they deliver it in the scene, it's good. That's the reason I know that quote from the Bible, that verse.
No, that's my favorite. That's my favorite verse, and that's definitely something that keeps me going, man.
I can't do that. I can't quote scripture.
That's the only one.
Yeah. I have a Bible. My aunt gave it to me, and I've been slowly working through reading it, but I think I'm still on Exodus. It's just once they start talking about the tabernacle and building all of these instruments, I was like, okay,
yeah,
let's get to the good stuff.
I mean, I'm just starting in the New Testament, so I'm barely like figuring out like Jesus's like lineage. It's like 14 generations this, 14 generations that. Here's another 14. For some reason, 14 is a really important number in that.
I have a book sitting in my house that I have not read yet. It's called The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. And it's this guy who is a religious scholar, I believe, and he deciphered the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is what the Bible and all of this is really based off of. That's the oldest document from it. And he thinks that the Bible is a serious misinterpretation of what they were trying to say. He thinks a lot of this is fertility rituals surrounding psychedelic mushrooms, and that they developed these stories to kind of safeguard their traditions. And then just through word of mouth, as has been passed down over centuries, it's changed. And, obviously you're going from one language to another language, from Aramaic to Hebrew.
Yeah.
Hebrew has numbers that also mean words or something like that. Crazy. And you think how hard it is to translate things today and what you lose in translation. I mean, I don't know how accurate that is. I have not read the book.
Have you seen what like biblical accurate angels look like? I wouldn't be surprised if he thought that was like a whole mushroom trip, because they look fucking insane. They look scary, bro. I
haven't seen them.
There's like wings, and all of the wings have eyes, or there's a giant eye with like a ring around the eye, and that whole eye, those rings have thousands of eyes on them, and it's just floating in midair. And all they're saying is, "Don't be afraid." I'm gonna be afraid, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, seeing that.
I took it with a big grain of salt, but it was a TikTok, and it was just like the Bible's interpretation of the devil versus like the average interpretation of the devil. Red horns, that kind of whole deal. But it was like
a lot of fire.
It almost looked like but like according to the video, it was the biblical version of the devil is like it almost looks like a knight, but he's like got a bunch of gold everywhere and this and that, and it's just he looks just like a super beefed up, like just knight in shining armor, but with like white and gold, and it was just like just completely different than anything. And again, that was a TikTok, that could be anything, but it was just interesting to think about, like if that was actually the way it is and the way that most people interpret the devil and then what he would, I guess, look like, then it was a big difference.
I mean,
it was 180.
Yeah, he was a fallen angel.
Fallen angel, yeah.
I mean, that would kind of track more so than the horns, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know where the horn image came from.
Oh, because like
Halloween,
him
probably.
and like a third of God's angels.
Yeah, marketing.
Yep.
How can we sell this? How can we make some money off this?
Yeah, let's make him look scary and just look completely different than what he's actually supposed to, quote unquote, look like.
Oh, for yourself,
And-
dude. For yourself.
Well, if you're the
everything.
church and you're trying to bring people into your religion,
Excuse me.
fear of going to this place that is consumed by fire and there's some guy with a pitchfork who is presiding over it with horns,
Yeah.
that's a pretty vivid
That's not what you
image.
want to be with.
Yeah, you don't want to be there. For eternity? For how big is eternity? I got to be down there with that guy in fire?
Oh, someone interpreted pretty damn good. So like, for example, like that, like, look, can you pass me that charger?
Yeah,
Right
a
there?
charging brick?
Yeah.
This is good. You're bringing props into the podcast.
I'm bringing props in the pot. The wire.
Oh, so for people that can't see, you're holding an iPhone charging cable.
I'm holding an iPhone charging cable, and
Is this the part where you plug your phone in?
yeah. So this is the part you plug it.
No, I mean, is this the part of the podcast where you just wanted that to charge your phone?
No. I was gonna do. I'm doing something.
Okay, my bad. I didn't mean
Doing
to step on it.
something.
I didn't mean to step on it.
You're out here shitting on me. You're out here shitting on but no, someone like interpreted pretty beautifully like what eternity looks like. So like, let's say like this iPhone charger, like what is this? Like 3 foot? Some shit like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So like towards the end, like the tip of the iPhone charger where you plug in your phone, that's your whole lifespan. And then all of this extra stuff is like eternity. Like that doesn't mean nothing if you actually look at like hindsight. That means nothing, and so you're spending eternity away from God. And that's pretty much what all hell is. It's not like, I mean, yeah, there's gonna be like, I don't know, it's not gonna be a great place. But if you choose to deny God and you choose to deny like Jesus as like the one true way to God, then you have that right. Because
See, what happens if people can start to live forever? And then you never find out what is on the other side of that.
then they'll actually they will be found out, because towards the end, like at the end of the Bible, like Jesus will come down and like everything will be turning to shit. Like I can't quote it because I haven't read it, but Maria's read it, and it's just
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. It's like honestly, the whole thing sounds like someone, like what you're saying, someone took like a psychedelic and then just spazzed out and can pretty much just like, all these people are going to die. If you drink this water and die, you go to heaven. Those who stay on earth are going to witness these locusts that have human heads coming down and constantly pecking at them, but you will never die. You just wish you would die. So if they end up living forever, they're going to find out. That's just my whole ordeal. Can't see that again. My shit keeps on turning out.
Do you think that you would want to live forever if you could? Would you sign up for that?
No, dude. Fuck no. Why would
might.
you want to live forever?
I might.
I can understand the curiosity too.
Especially if we get interplanetary as a species.
I
You would want to be around to see some stuff.
No, I do not want to outlive all my loved ones. Especially
That would be the hard part.
Like I have kids, and
But what if they live forever too? They turn whatever
feel
age,
like-
18 or 25, maybe they decide they want to do it. They
I
just
feel like
tap
that'd be a
into the
curse.
system.
That would be like, honestly, I feel like a curse than anything, because then the whole ordeal about like marriage won't really matter at that point. Like sticking with one partner
For eternity? You're going to swap a little bit.
Yeah,
Everybody's going to be a swinger.
everyone, like all like relationship values hold little meaning, friendship values hold little meaning. Pretty much everything will like not be the same.
But then again, relationships today. I mean, you guys got out of the dating game at a great time because
I really did.
relationships today, I feel like they're all over the place.
I can't do online dating. I just can't. Even when it was coming out and I was kind of curious about it, I just chose not to. People have some great luck with it.
Yeah, I mean, it works for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people get married, have a great life. I think user base, I was reading an article the other day that across, I think all of them, but maybe Hinge is just taking a nosedive. People are like, this is not working. I'm tired of swiping, tired of just the random hookups.
Well, I feel like it's just like how we, like the whole death scroll thing. You're just
Oh, yeah,
constantly
doom
swiping.
scrolling?
Yeah, doom scrolling. You're just constantly scrolling. You're constantly swiping. Everything is on your phone. And I feel like you just lose out the touch of like reality a little bit, you know?
Well, yeah, you're not paying attention to the world around you. You're just paying attention to your phone and what you could potentially see through it.
And if you are paying attention, it's to the world at scale. You're not focused. You're not watching TikToks of your friends. You're watching TikToks of these people that you don't know, that you've never met, probably will never meet.
Mm-hmm.
They're just this abstraction behind a screen.
Yeah. Because at one point I do want to die. I don't want to live forever.
But you don't want to die today.
Not today.
What about tomorrow?
If it happens, it happens. But today I'm like, let me be comfy right now. Like, you know?
There is something that kind of makes it romantic, the human life, because it is finite. So you are going to die. You better live while you can.
I think it's pretty cool to think about the idea of like reincarnation. Like, do you think you come back as somebody else and just, or like as something else or something like that? Like, it's interesting to think about. Like, I don't know, obviously I'm not dead, so I don't know the weight behind it, but it is cool to think about. Like, it is cool to like potentially what is on, like what's next. It's scary.
Yeah, but what if you get reincarnated as like a bird
Or a gnat.
or a worm?
Yeah.
But it'd be an experience. Or what if there's this idea that, I can't think of what it's tied to, if it's a religion or something, that maybe Buddhism, that you're reliving the same life. So you die and then you're reincarnated again as you. And you relive the same life until you get it right. Whatever that means, getting it right. But you just keep reliving the same thing.
I mean, if that's the case, and Hitler fucked up his life real
Man,
good.
that'd be a shitty time
He
to
needs to-
be in. What is right for him?
Yeah, well, my God. No, isn't that Hindu?
It might be Hindu. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those. Might be Hindu.
I don't know.
That reincarnation, you're just stuck in the cycle, which is kind of interesting because then you would get to maybe correct past mistakes or live in a way that is more in line with who you are as a person.
Yeah.
But how many times, what if you keep fucking up and you're on your 50th run?
I don't know. I feel like my faith has a pretty good deal. You do good, you believe in Jesus, and then you die, you live in paradise.
And here's the thing, even if religion is bullshit, that's probably a better way to live your life with just those tenets of be a good person,
Yeah.
respect others.
I mean, if anything, if you don't get anything out of the Bible or anything, like any type of religion, that's pretty much the baseline, is like be a good, decent person at least. Unless you're what's the religion? Is it Muslims? If you're like a woman, that's not so great. I don't know.
Oh, with like how they dress and stuff. For
It's like how they dress and how, because I
Like you
think,
can't show your face and that kind of stuff, or
yeah, I just recently saw something online. Actually, before I came here, what was it Al Qaeda? Yeah,
the terrorist group.
yeah, the terrorist group. Did they take over in Afghanistan?
Oh yeah, we're Afghanistan. The Taliban
Taliban. The
completely
Taliban.
took over.
They passed a law where it's illegal for a woman to look at another man that she does not know. So if she doesn't know another man, she can't look at them. That's fucking wild, dude. Like, I don't even know, dude.
That's kind of crazy.
That's crazy. Like, you can't even glance at his direction or else you get...
I don't even know if women can drive out there.
See,
I know there's a lot of things they can't do, or definitely frowned upon if they do it, or what whatever, that kind of stuff. But
It's interesting how cultures emerge like that. And then you have the West that is just
we
a
welcome
complete
all.
polar opposite.
We welcome all. All can come here. Oh man, just legally, please.
Yeah, that's a crazy one.
There's, because what was it, New York? They were getting swamped with like refugees.
New York, Chicago,
Yeah.
they're having an issue with gang members in Colorado right now.
Colorado?
That they've taken over like this apartment complex, I think in Aurora. And
Really?
it's like, I want to say maybe a Venezuelan gang, but it might not be. I think it's some South American gang potentially. Just took over an apartment complex. Yeah, it's a big problem. It just doesn't get a lot of coverage.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that.
Exactly.
Jeez. See, this is why I need to watch the news more.
Yeah, but do you?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think the news.
I think it'd be nice to be keep in touch.
But
But it drives you crazy.
Yeah.
but different media outlets push what they want, not what the people should know. And
That's a big issue too.
It's like
yeah,
different medias post different things so they can make more money. That's
What is
what it is. It's
like
not
CNN.
well, yeah, like
Is that
CNN's
like a
gonna
big one?
CNN, but
CNN
even Fox News, ABC.
CNN,
All of them.
NBC is gonna post more stuff that's more blue, and then like Fox, and then there's another one that's really red. But it's like they're just gonna push stuff that just bashes the other side. They're not pushing anything.
You're not going to get unbiased news.
No, not anymore. Like maybe you used to back when it came in, like your news came in a black and white paper every morning. But I mean, anybody anywhere can have an idea and then find stuff online that supports their idea, whether they're right or wrong. And so it's just like the media. The media is a huge problem.
Yeah.
Huge problem.
I don't know how you fix that though.
I don't know.
I mean, we've gone so far with polarization in the media. I don't know if you can dial that back.
I mean, everyone has an outlet,
Yeah, I think there's something about ignorance is bliss. You ignore the news, and it's just a lot of the other stuff that's outside of your bubble and doesn't take care of you and your family. And
That's
stuff.
currently me.
Yeah, and it's
that's
just
like me right now.
yeah, it's like it's.
And
You
I
know-
think you might be happier that way. Because I start going down those rabbit holes, and then I'll talk to someone who doesn't pay attention to the news, and I almost feel like I'm a crazy person.
I mean, you told me some of the stuff like late at night, some of the rabbit holes you've gone down to. I'm like, it's something I never even thought of. Like, it doesn't matter if it's like a big thing in the media or if it's a smaller one that not many people are talking about. But it's just some of the stuff you told me. I'm just like, yeah, I've never thought about that. I never would have thought about that. And so staying up late and this and that, it just never would have crossed my mind to look into any of that stuff. And it's just because, something big happens, like the Olympics, you see a lot of stuff on a lot of different media outlets about coverage of that or whatever. But even then, it's just like going back to like the lady boxer. It's like certain medias were pushing
Spinning it a certain way.
Yeah, spinning it their own certain way. And it was just, you can't. So unless you want to take the time and drive yourself crazy and going through all the media outlets to try and make your own opinion, everyone's going to have their own. And
I barely got time for that, dude. I got
exactly.
two kids.
Exactly. And that's the point. It's just like you're in your own little bubble of you and your family. It's like, that's not always a bad thing when you're not thinking about the world and all of its problems. You have your own problems to worry about. You don't have time or the effort or anything or the willpower to sit there and think about what's going on in the world.
And then if you do decide to dip your toe in, what do you pick?
Right.
Are you going to look at Russia, Ukraine? Are you going to look at Israel, Palestine? Are you going to look at assassination attempts on presidents?
And it's what do you pick and what do you do? Like if you feel so strongly about one of these points of view, like what can you do to help them? It's just one of those like, yeah. So
Well, I feel like you should just worry about your own country,
Yeah, but even there, what do you pick? Do you start looking at the border? Do you start looking at like Kamala Harris's proposed capital gains tax or unrealized
but
gains tax?
You focus on your country, but other people in your country want to focus on the world and not just the country. It's like,
which is crazy.
You're not going to make any progress when you got people, you're arguing with people like what should be done first. It's like, you're not going to get anywhere.
Well, that's what
People
happened
cared.
in HSU, right? The whole Palestine.
That's what I was going to say. People cared half as much about this country as they do about some foreign country
We'd be a
halfway around the world that they've never been to. They're
Never will be to.
gonna go
Yeah,
to.
but never.
This would be the greatest place in the world.
We'd be a lot better off, and we'd be a lot better off helping other places like that, because you can't help anybody if you don't have your own 2 feet firmly planted on the ground. You get your own country,
Yeah.
ready, and you get your own country like lined up and everything's running smoothly, as smoothly as it can. Then it's like, then you can help other people. But when you're worried about only helping other people and you become, like, your own country becomes, the small subject of what you want to do, like it's a problem. You need to fix what's happening at home first before you can help other people.
Makes me curious of like how many people, like for example, the HSU protests, like how many of them actually know what they're protesting about?
Well, it's like some of those protesters, like there's only a handful of them that actually got prosecuted. Like,
yeah.
A huge chunk of them got let go. With all the charges and stuff got dropped. They sit there and they barricaded themselves in the buildings and vandalized and spray painted and did all this stuff that was quote unquote trying to help, Palestine. It's just like, what did you didn't do anything. You just vandalized shit.
Yeah.
That's all you did. You just costed the university money, and you costed everybody their graduation because they couldn't just have it in one spot. They had to have it in multiple locations, and you didn't know where it was going to be until like a day or two before, because they were afraid protesters were going to show up and ruin the damn thing for people who went to school and earned their graduation.
Wasn't one of the places Eureka High?
I don't know.
But then you just turn people against your cause too.
Yeah.
Which it is a valid cause to have, and there are legitimate critiques about what is happening out there for sure. But going about it that way, you're just turning people against you. It's like those people that protest and block freeways.
Yeah.
All those people stuck in that traffic do not support your cause.
No.
And they might have had you not just fucked off their whole day, because now they're sitting in bumper to bumper traffic for hours waiting for you to get a life.
But then when you get the one person that's at the front of that line that just says, screw this, I have somewhere to be. Like, it's like that person's in traffic and, their wife or their significant others in the hospital
Or they gotta get to work
or for some
to
reason.
pay their bills.
Yeah. It's just like, they don't give a shit. And they choose to, drive right through you. And it's like, all of a sudden they're the bad guy. It's like, well, you're the one clogging up the freeway. What did you expect was going to happen?
I was like, why didn't you stop? Well, if he stops, he's going to get his shit blown out.
Well, that was probably, I think we were still in high school when they blocked over there by the courthouse in town. They got in a crosswalk and they wouldn't let cars go. Traffic stacked up from the courthouse all the way to the north end of town.
They did that during George Floyd too, didn't they? Here?
They did sure. I know they did the protest for sure.
Or it was like the whole Trump parade when that happened. People like lined up in their trucks and everything else that drove from Fortuna to Trinidad, and it was just like, for what? Like, it just seems a little ridiculous to me. I'm like, in their mind, like they're having a good time, they're doing what they think is right and American, this and that. But it's just like, at the end of the day, it didn't really do anything.
Well, if you're gonna do a peaceful protest, then you're gonna get more people involved, and like more people like willing to like listen to you out. But if you're just, demolishing everything, or like, just assaulting people along the way, then no one's really gonna care.
Well, it's like, going back to the Cal Poly thing, it's like when all that was happening, it was like
Cal Poly.
They chose right before graduation. It was just like all the people that have worked hard and gone to school and are trying to graduate with whatever degree or, they are trying to achieve in life is being blockaded because you think that what you're doing is more important than what they've been doing for the past few years, because something happened overnight and you think in 20 minutes you need to, hold the campus hostage. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's not getting your point across.
Like, I wonder how many people actually know what they're protesting about, or if they just like got thrown on the bandwagon. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Well, a lot of the people at that protest, like they were just, they were attracting homeless people because it was just like they're, people are trying to bring them food and this and that, and they're, letting people inside, not letting them out. It's like the homeless people just want to go in there and just stay the night because it's a roof over their head.
Yeah.
We had a customer at work. She runs a food truck, and one of the people at the protest outreached to her and was just like, hey, would you mind donating food? And she's like, no, because I lost a job because you guys, like, I had a job at the college. I lost because you guys are there. I'm not going to bring you fucking food.
Good.
Like, they lost money because of that whole thing happening there, that their event got canceled, and now they lost a paycheck for their family because you decided to hold the campus hostage. And you want to ask for handouts?
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
And see, do you feel like your life would be better off if you were focusing on that issue and it was just consuming your life and you're like, I gotta solve this?
Not if it's for a different country. I ain't doing shit for another country. And even if I focus on this one.
I mean, if your house is on fire and your neighbor down the street has a leaky faucet and you're focused on the leaky faucet, there's a problem there.
Or, I mean, even if their house is on fire, if your house is on fire and the neighbor down the street's house is on fire, they're equally as bad.
You gotta put out your fire first.
You need to help yours first before you go help them.
Yeah.
It makes no
Go help
sense.
them,
Yeah,
but
it makes
put
no
out
sense.
your fire.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fires here.
We have a
We have a
ton
lot of
fires.
fires.
The only one I think I should probably like start getting on board more often is probably just like our next election.
The presidential one.
Yeah, presidential one.
It's gonna be crazy.
It is great. It's kind
It'll
of.
be crazy.
It's already crazy, dude.
It's been crazy for the past like 20 years.
Yeah, but it
Because
feels like it's ramped up a little bit.
Oh, for sure. But it was just like, I feel like, like when Obama became president, it was like when he became, it seems like that was probably the last like peaceful transition of power. Because ever since then, it's been turmoil. It's been
Wild.
people objecting, trying to get people impeached, trying to, it's just been chaos since that whole thing. Like I honestly think that was like when it was Bush, right? Before Obama. Yeah. I think that was probably the last like peaceful transfer. And then everything after that has just been fucking chaos come election year.
I mean, it doesn't help that Trump has like locker room talk like all the time.
For sure.
Yeah, but also a lot of the way that the media has gone after him and the political persecution through the court system is just...
Well, and the media on his side also, just kind of pass away all the stuff. Like, the dude's a felon, right? Like,
yeah, but I mean, those 34 counts are for the checks that he wrote. That's why there's 34 or whatever I think it's 34, but it's because of each check that he wrote for the payment. And we have other presidents that have paid people off for
And nothing
similar
happened.
action. Nothing happens. Of course, nothing happens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This was a misdemeanor, and it had fallen out of, the timeline for whether they could actually do something, and then they altered it to go after him specifically. I mean, there's a
Well, they're
lot
really
of
trying to
shit.
get rid of him.
Oh, yeah.
They're really trying to get rid of him. Like, oh my God.
Like
the fact that he got shot.
I was gonna.
The fact that he got shot. Did you see the picture?
yeah. And
The fist pump.
The fist pump?
With
I was
the
telling you at the
flag?
gym, but that's a
great picture,
hardcore
dude.
picture.
Great picture.
That goes hard.
Even if you
man.
hate the guy, that's a killer
fucking
picture.
Can you pull it up? I actually
Oh
wanna
yeah,
see it.
I'll pull that up. Sorry again for the people listening, but
no, I mean, it's really unfortunate that, the country can't put aside stuff for that long to where like it literally took like an assassination attempt on their side to try and
come on,
Like,
son.
look at that, dude. That's nice.
Blood on his face, American flag in the background, Secret Service around him.
Put that on the back of a hoodie and put on the front, miss me, and that's a killer hoodie right there.
I thought about
Mhm.
blowing that up and hanging it in the studio.
That's
But
bro.
I want to get an American flag and just put it in here. I feel like that would tie everything together.
well, see, and that's the thing too, where it's just like I feel like when Trump became like president the first go around, like it almost seems scary to fly the American flag for some people because it was like,
quote unquote racist for some people. They thought
yeah, and it was
that's what the country stands for.
it was fucking crazy. It was like, it was nuts. It was terrifying because it was just like, you've had one in, outside your house for, 20 years, some people, and then all of a sudden you fly it on that specific day when that whole stuff was happening. It's like, you're just labeled as a racist and,
yeah.
you support, everything that he was standing for and stuff. It's like, no, you fly the American flag because you support America. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Like, because at the end of the day, you're an American, it's not like, and that's, I feel like where the you lose the peaceful transfer of powers, like really gets in the way. Cause it's like, that was one of the biggest staples that like what made America, quote unquote, so much greater than everywhere else was because we have this stuff set up to where, your side might have lost, but you respect the other side won, you deal with it, and you live to fight another day. Now that doesn't exist. Now it's you try and impeach people, you try and get them out as soon as possible, you just try and sabotage their whole presidency and everything. It's just, I understand, the side that loses doesn't want the other person that's in there.
Yeah.
If like when Trump actually wins, Democrats don't want him in there. They're going to do everything in their power to get him out. Same thing with like, if Harris wins, everybody on, the Republican side's going to do everything they can to get her out. It's not like,
well, I don't know. Republicans are kind of pussies in that way.
They can't just deal with the fact that they lost, and either side, nobody can, really deal with the fact that they lost. And
if one side wins, then the other side is going to be like screaming it's rigged.
Yeah, and
what about screaming that democracy is on the line?
Yeah.
What does that do to a population? And I mean, that's what Russiagate was. Russiagate was complete bullshit. And they ran with that for years. That Trump colluded with Russia, that the election was fraudulent, that Trump didn't actually win the presidency.
Yeah.
And just bullshit.
Oh, but then you see like a guy like Biden, like you've been seeing him for the past 4 years, and that guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing most of the time.
Well, it was crap. So, I mean, it should have said something when like, Joe was Obama's right-hand man for 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Like when it came to be like when Obama was stepping down, he wasn't just automatically like, oh, I'm putting like
he didn't want Joe.
Yeah, he wanted, I forget who else he wanted, but like he put his word behind somebody else, and it wasn't until Joe was the only one left that's when he was just like, okay, well, I'll back Joe because he's for the Democratic Party. You kind of have to support them at that point.
Yeah, that's a big say.
That should say something that like he was the VP for 8 years, and the president of the whole 8 years. He was not his first choice.
Yeah. Well, and ran, I believe 3 times before that. And it was just laughed off.
I didn't realize he'd ran.
Serial plagiarizer had just lied through his teeth. I believe he stole an MLK speech. Just a joke.
He was actually against Obama at one point.
He was against gay marriage. I mean, the 84 crime bill. There's so much that people just don't have the attention span, whether they're too busy, which I completely understand, to go back and actually understand your candidates. But that's what really surprises me with Kamala, is Kamala ran in 2020, didn't even make it to the first primary, was such a terrible candidate. Not Kamala Harris, Tulsi Gabbard burned her on the debate stage talking about what she did as DA, withholding evidence that would get people out of jail because she wanted them to work as like a slave labor force to fight wildfires in California.
That's crazy, bro.
And people have just forgotten that.
Did she really do that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's why she floundered in 20. She ran in 2020. It happened on the debate stage. Tulsi Gabbard brought this up, sunk her. Didn't even make it to Iowa. And people have just completely forgotten. And now everybody's, we love Kamala. She's great. Meanwhile, she's in the office now. She's vice president right now. Look at how the country is. She's going to turn the ship around.
I was literally just about to say.
She's going to turn it around.
Like how can she turn the ship around when she was part of the crew? Like
she's steering the ship.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah, and it's not Joe. That's for sure.
No, I think
can't go upstairs, right?
No, I think ever since he became, it's been pretty clear ever since he became like, the president, that like he has not been the one pulling the strings. It's been everyone else on his side pulling the strings and telling him what to say, and he's just trying his best to do it. And it's just,
well, he only got president because no one wanted Trump.
Well, that was the thing too. A lot of people were voting for Biden because they didn't want Trump. And I'm like, you shouldn't vote for people because you don't want that person.
Yeah.
You should vote for somebody because you think they're going to do good for the country.
Because
that was a huge deal when it was between Trump and Biden. It was just like people knew, or a lot of people that I talked to that were going to vote Biden or whatever. It was just like they didn't per se think he was the best fit, but it was because he was the Democrats' quote unquote guy. And so he was the only guy to push to try and get Trump out of there. I'm like, you shouldn't vote for somebody like that.
It's either because you're pro-Trump or you're not pro-Trump. And that's pretty much how that election went.
I don't know anybody that voted for Biden based on a policy decision or his character. It was just he's not Trump, and we can't let Trump get into office.
I still just can't wrap my head around the thing that I said earlier. It was just like Obama didn't back him. Why would anyone else in the right mind back him when the guy for 8 years that led him was not his first choice?
Yeah.
Clearly he saw something and thought that like Biden wasn't the guy. And he was right. Like Biden I don't think has been super great. Like the guy
Biden's been terrible.
He can hardly read a teleprompter,
Well, and how about the Her report that essentially said he's too retarded? My phrasing, not his. His phrasing was more that he's too old and a jury wouldn't prosecute him because he's too senile. That should have been a red flag.
Yeah.
That this guy, under any other normal circumstances, would be prosecuted is not because they don't think they can get a jury to commit him because he's too old and senile. What? And he's the guy with...
This is the guy running the country.
He's got the nuclear football, this guy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have escalations in the Middle East, and we're essentially at war with Russia. I mean, we are the primary backers in that. We squashed, with Boris Johnson, we squashed a peace deal that could have prevented a lot of this, and it's all because of NATO expansion, which people don't want to talk. See, this is what I'm talking about. Do you want to go back and look at all?
Well,
this?
I'm learning as I'm talking right now. I'm learning as I'm talking.
When I start talking about stuff like this, not to you guys, but to people that just don't know for whatever reason, I feel crazy. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Because like all this stuff you just said, I have no idea, but it's just like I don't follow the media. I don't do that stuff. And for you, you get a lot of people, a lot of guests on the show and whatnot. And so it's like,
and the only reason I do is because of this.
Mhm.
I would be just like everyone else, but I had a guy on from the Washington Post who is a foreign correspondent, and like talking to people like that, you have to look into these issues.
was that the guy that was like, it was through Zoom?
Joby Warwick, yeah.
And he had like a book out and whatnot.
Yeah, Black Flag, The Rise of ISIS.
I listened to that one. I really liked that one. He was really interesting to like talk to and listen to. And
the book
whatnot.
he's got a couple books. The book is, I have the book if you want to read it out. No pressure, but it was a great book on al-Zarqawi and just how that all played out. I mean, he's got a couple other ones that I want to read too, but fascinating guy.
Yeah.
And really good journalist, at least from the work that I was, looked over for that. It was just great.
Okay, so knowing what you know now, right?
Okay.
From like
loosely
knowing what you know now.
Fact check everything.
For like, who would you go for between Kamala and Trump?
What are you trying to get me canceled?
I'm just asking,
goddamn
dude.
podcast guest.
just
What are
asking.
you doing?
Or who are you? Who are you more leaning toward?
I won't vote for Kamala. I know too much, or I think I know too much. I'll say it like that to be political. I can't. I don't know if that means I'll vote. In 2020, I wanted Tulsi. I thought Tulsi was great, and they made up a lie about her being a Russian agent. Thank you, Hillary Clinton, and it stuck. And so her ship sank. Complete bullshit. She is a veteran. That white streak in her hair is from her serving. That's why she has that, and that's why she leaves that as a reminder, supposedly. I can't vote for Kamala. I mean, I don't agree with Trump morally, and I don't really know if he would change things. I mean, he was in office, and the whole drain the swamp idea really never came through. He's also pretty pro-Israel, and I think he would continue to fund that, which I don't think is a good decision, but I don't think we have like a solid candidate that I would say, oh yes, this is the person that's going to right the ship. But I do think that Kamala will definitely drive us into a cliff.
That's shit. Dude.
I do feel I feel comfortable saying that, but I don't know. I mean, if she wins, I would hope that she would unify the country.
Oh, I feel like eventually it'll. Oh, well, another thing too. Like, I guess first when she became VP, I feel like, like when Obama became president, it was like a huge thing because he's, the first African-American president. It's just like when she became the VP, I feel like it wasn't like a big deal where it's like she was the first like woman in office, It's just like that was a big stepping stone. I feel like it just kind of got overshadowed by the whole chaos of the election that had happened. But I was like, that's like,
well, it also
That's true,
is,
huh?
like, it's,
That's actually very true.
like it's very cool. Like you never heard anyone like kind of celebrate that or like talk about it. The fact that like she's the first woman VP,
Why do you think nobody?
And-
when was the last time? Or when was the first time you heard people start talking about Kamala Harris before it came out that she was going to run? When's the last time?
Never.
Now, why do you think that is? It's because she is terrible at her job, and they realized that early in the administration and just kept her sidelined. She was the border czar, but now they're trying to memory hole that. She was Biden put her in charge of the border, and look at where we are. So
what'd she do exactly on the border?
Nothing. She didn't even visit the border. That's what she did.
That reminds me of a video. I think I just saw a video. She was like, we were at the border. And then some guy was like, well, did you go to the border? And she was like,
we're at the border.
I had never went to, she like, named
she's
some
like,
random
I've
country.
been at the border. And he's like, the southern, she said some other country, but.
She's like, I've never been there. So why would I need to go to the border? I was like.
But that's after she was saying, yes, we've been to the border.
Yeah,
and then he caught her. I think that was a CNN thing potentially too, which shout out to them for that. But that's, I mean.
Well, CNN.
Nobody was talking about Kamala 3 months ago.
Well, CNN was like was into a lot of shit. Like what? They were coming after Joe Rogan for the whole horse dewormer type shit.
Put a filter over him to make it look like he was sick.
Yeah. And
the horse paste.
Is that what horse paste?
Yeah, horse dewormer. Yeah, the ivermectin. Don't go take horse dewormer.
Don't do that.
Which you think a guy that has that much money and is talking to, brilliant people and dumb people, which is great too. It was just such bullshit. It's just such a psyop. Everything is a psyop nowadays. But I think you're happier because you don't pay attention to all
I probably am, dude.
I think so. I think so.
I really am. Like, and here's how my voting was. It's like, okay, well, like for me, and it's probably a lot of people can relate to this. Is like, well, I witnessed how the economy happened this last 4 years. I'm not going to vote for the guy who was in charge of that, Which I don't know exactly how he correlates with everything when it comes to like how the economy hit the shit, but I'm probably going to go back to Trump. That's just my logic. That's my thinking.
There's just so many factors at play. Abortion, if Republicans could just ease up on abortion and find some middle ground, I think they would win back a decent chunk of people, but...
What are they trying to do with abortion?
Well, they got rid of Roe v. Wade and kicked it back to the states, which people, even liberals, by my understanding, decades ago were, there was support for that it should be a state's choice.
Okay.
But they repealed it. Now, it worked up a lot of people who are concerned that they're going to just outright ban it, based on actions that have taken place and rhetoric moving forward. Which I don't know. The abortion thing is such a hot topic. But that's like their big sticking point for a lot of people is, we need abortion. We need a Democrat in there who's going to restore Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
But Democrats have had the ability. They've had the House. They've had the Senate, the presidency in the past. They could have codified it into law and they just never did anything with it because they want it to be a voting issue so that people will rally behind the party. That's my stance on that. That's what I think. Not my unique stance. That's a stance that I've taken from listening to people way smarter than me, but
shit, I'm listening to you.
I would not listen to me. Nobody listen to me. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, because
I was saying, you know a lot more about all this than I do. I feel like I'm like an egg, and just freshly hatched out. I'm like being thrown all this bullshit.
But again, circle back. It's just like, is that such a bad thing? It's like, you don't have to, you don't think about all this stuff. It's just like ignorance is bliss.
Do you know who Alex Jones is?
No.
Do you know who Alex Jones is?
Like I've heard, but I don't know.
He's like, I don't know how to spin this now that you guys don't know who he is.
Look him up.
He's like he's just a guy that you could say went into the rabbit hole world and never really managed to come back from it. And I think that is a slippery slope. Once you start realizing the corruptions, the shit that we've done, MK Ultra, the JFK assassination, what really went there, the grassy knoll, the bullet. There's so many things. The Vietnam War, the Gulf of Tonkin, how that was just a lie that got us into the Vietnam War, that they just lied.
That's so crazy.
Lied.
That's crazy that can happen.
It's all out there, declassified. And again, it's the attention thing. People, who wants to go back and rehash the Vietnam War? Who's going to take the time to go, okay, what really got us into that? Oh, right. They lied about a shipping attack? What? They just lied? And that we went to war with this country on a lie for...
So many people died.
Could go back to the media. It's like newspaper printed it and it was just like a whole country.
WMDs. That's one that people have a little more acceptance towards, that there were no weapons of mass destruction, that we went to war with Iraq, subsequently Afghanistan, all the things that we've done, Hillary Clinton's involvement in Libya. See, but like,
This is what you're talking about.
tell, like, glossy eyes over.
I was just like,
what are you talking about?
because I like half the shit you just said. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I haven't heard about that once. And this is what I'm talking about. This is like, sometimes I'm like, hey, I kind of want to at least be somewhat knowledgeable about
But
this
even
stuff.
me, I have a surface level understanding of some things.
Doesn't fucking sound like surface level.
No, it's surface. It's definitely surface level.
Freaking.
And I think that it's a slippery slope, because if you start really going down these rabbit holes, you might start thinking everything is a sap. And then how far do you go before you start hitting flat Earth
Mm-hmm.
and thinking, oh,
Okay, flat Earth.
but still,
It's literally
That's a far-fetched.
there's stuff out there that you can, any topic that you have
one
that
good
you,
YouTube video.
that you specifically have an idea of, you can go online and find anything that corresponds with what you think, and you can be just, that is the truth.
And then you just ride with that and go crazy.
Yeah, let me just read the Bible. I'm just gonna do that, dude. Fucking hell.
And here's the thing, maybe, I've had conversations that have caused me to kind of speculate over this idea. Maybe if you want success in your life, your personal life, whether it's through family dynamics, friendship, relationships, whatever, I wonder if you can cultivate the life that you want and be successful, even if it's just pursuing money, and be focused on all of these external issues. Or if you have to just hone in on your life and kind of block out the noise and say, I'm going to build the life that I want. I wonder if it's like a give and take,
I think it might have to be. Because you're just stressing about all this other bullshit, and then
Yeah,
not stressing about the right things.
It's like it has to be a give and take, 'cause it's like you can take, you take all the issues of the world and try and tackle those. You can spend your whole life chasing those and trying to solve those and not worry about yourself and start a family or do, your average Joe stuff. Or you can create a family and do the average Joe stuff and block out everything else. So if you want to do both, that'd be a really tight wire to walk.
Because right now my knowledge is only about like child raising and being a husband.
which are two very important things,
Yeah.
especially in relation to your life.
But that's pretty much all I got going on right now. Just taking care of my kids and taking care of my wife.
Which is arguably an insane amount of time, right?
That's all my time.
Exactly.
It takes all my time.
And so one of those things would have to suffer if you're like, I want to start learning about these other issues, because it takes time.
Yeah.
And time is the only currency where there's just a super finite amount of it.
Or it's going to take your time, where it's just like, let's say you do everything right and you put the kids to bed and like the wife goes to sleep and you had your actual day, but then the curiosity in your brain starts going and you want to learn more about this stuff. It causes your time to lose sleep to go over there and actually learn about this stuff if you actually want to. And then you just wake up and do it all over again. You got to take care of the family. Now you're stressed out and because you're not, you don't have any sleep or anything else. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like trying to find you time, family time, and everything else is just,
Something's got to give.
there's no right answer.
Well, that's one thing I'm a little sad about going back to a 9 to 5 is the fact that I'm not going to be able to spend as much time with like the kids and the wife.
For
you
sure.
know?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to take like 8 hours of my day. Because that's how it was when I was working for Verizon. When Massey was first born, like I'd work, like I'd go in the afternoon shift and then I'd be like around like 12 o'clock. And then at closing, he would already be asleep. So I got to spend maybe 2 hours with him during the day. And then see him the next day. And that's pretty much about it. It's bad. And that would fuck me up a little bit, you know? So I'm a little bit afraid what's going to happen when I go back to 9 to 5. What's up, dude?
We got a little nap flying around in here.
Hey.
Yeah. You have a limited amount of time, That's life.
Yeah. That's what I did like about the whole emo marketing thing was the fact that I got to spend so much time with like everyone else. And like probably do like today I'll do like 3 hours of work and then we can go out and hang out. But then I have to make that time back like some other time.
Well, that's the big thing with financial freedom, right? I think that's why everyone, or a lot of people chase that, is because If you work hard enough, you can almost buy back your time. And then you have more freedom to do what you actually want to do in life instead of just working some job that maybe you don't find fulfilling, where you, worst case, you hate and it's miserable every day you go to work.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to do that? Who wants to work 40 hours a week in a place that they're miserable, doing something they hate, and you're doing that
Yeah.
for 40 years?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It can be incredibly hard to find, your place in the world or find a spot you actually enjoy and want to do for a living. But it's just also, what can you do to set yourself up to where, you only have to work for 20, 25 years and then, you can be 50, it's like us right now. It's like 20, 25 years. It's like that puts us like 50, 55. And it's just like you can retire and enjoy what you want to do. You're still young. You can do whatever you want. But it's just like, what if you did the 20 to 25 year career that set yourself up to be able to retire at 55? You hated the whole time. It's like, it's a give and take. It's like,
I feel that way about this podcast in some ways.
What do you mean?
Because, I'm in an interesting spot where I can kind of, think about where the direction of this and where it goes and stuff. And you think about how many hours I've sucked into this thing or sunk into this, hundreds. I feel comfortable saying hundreds through editing, through actually being in the studio, talking with the guests,
setting it up,
building the studios. And would that time have been more productive spent just nose to the grindstone working on something that has a concrete payment system where I am making money?
Well, that's the end goal of this, right?
Well, yeah, but there's a possibility that this in its current state, this is what it is. And would you be okay with that? With this never producing money, with this just being a pastime? And how do you find the balance in that? Right? Because there's no guarantees. This could take off. This could, whatever that means, take off. Or it could just be this.
True.
Or it could just stop. I mean, I don't think it would stop. I'm a little too... I've already gone too far down. I don't know that I could correct the ship in that way.
You got like 2 studios, so I feel like
there's some investment.
Yeah, there's a little bit of investment.
Small
here.
investment. I got a little depressed for a while after finishing this studio because it was such an investment for me, from my family, from the people around me, the investment from relationships that I didn't get to cultivate because I was in here doing this,
Yeah.
that it was kind of slow moving, getting back to recording. I mean, there were a couple months, I think, where maybe I put out 1 episode for a while there, for maybe 3-4 months while I was building this, because I wasn't recording. I was just in here building. And then finally it was done. And it was like, oh shit, like this is now real. I mean, when I was in the garage or at my parents' house, it felt less serious. It's like, I'm just, I'm in college, I'm recording in between, online classes because COVID.
Yeah.
It didn't feel as real. And now it's like, oh shit, this is serious.
Well, I don't think I really know anyone that has the mental capacity to hold several different conversations with so many different people like you. So I wouldn't see why it wouldn't go off, Or
I might just be crazy. This might be I might be in the simulation and this is my 5th time around.
No, we can't think like that.
Going crazy.
You can't think like that.
Raging against the machine. Get me out of here. Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting to think about your life in that way. Like what course, because obviously you don't know. I mean, you could wake up tomorrow and get hit by a car. You have no idea what's in store for you in life, but just thinking, okay, where does this path lead? What am I setting myself up for? Good and bad, going down this path. And I think that's for you guys too, just like where you are in life.
Well, that's what I kind of did with the email marketing. I was like, I kind of weighed out the pros and cons. I'm like, I got a lot more cons than I do pros. And the pros are good for like, don't get me wrong, they were great. But then all the cons added up on top of that just cancel that out like easily. So I had to like make a choice. I was like, okay, well, I have to do this, which honestly I don't really like doing anyways. Like I kind of stopped, like the passion was gone. So I can just go back to a 9 to 5, which also was like kind of shitty, but I knew I wanted to do at least sales.
Well, yeah, because I mean, doing the email marketing, you're kind of like working for yourself, right? You can make your own hours, you can do what you want, this and that. You kind of make your own schedule versus 9 to 5. It's like you got to be here from 9 to 5 to make the paycheck cut.
It kind of gave me an insight on like how I want to be when I do make like that type of money. Because I've talked to a lot of business owners, like doing like I don't know about hundreds, but like a shit ton of business owners, and they're all arrogant. All of them have like this, like, what can you do for me? Which is fair because I'm the one coming to them. I'm like, I'm just some freaking random guy. I was like, hey, like I can make your emails better, and like, who the fuck are you? But it's just like there's only like a handful of guys that I talked to that were actually like decent, and like don't get me wrong, they all made like a shit ton of money for themselves. But it kind of gave me like an insight, like, okay, this is how I want to be whenever I have that type of money. Don't want to be arrogant.
Right.
Don't want to be a douche. I don't want to be cocky. That's what it is. I don't want to be cocky. I just want to be feet to the ground and just be me, you know? I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's absolutely fair. It's like you encounter people that, you know, are arrogant or rude to you. It's like, okay, well, if and when I get to the point that you're at, then I want to treat people better than the way you just treated me.
Like I had one guy, he answered the phone and he was like, yeah, 30 seconds. And I'm hanging up. And he stuck to his word. 30 seconds went, and then he just hung up. I was like,
which I think some of that is
fair.
just the sales medium, you know. You just got to get used to rejection, which is valuable in and of itself. But it is a great lesson you can take from it of the kind of person that you want to be and how you want to implement your own life. And if you achieve that level of success, what that looks like for you, how you're going to treat other people.
Well, plus it's hard doing sales over the phone. Like it's super hard doing sales over the phone. It's hard getting someone on the phone, first of all. Unless you're just cold calling, then
Yeah, because no one wants to talk on the phone. They want to FaceTime, or they want to email, or they want to do this, or they want to do it in person. They don't want to do it over the phone. You know, they want to see who they're talking to actually.
Well, that's what I liked about sales in like the first place. Is like I could do face to face, and that's like the only thing I liked about Verizon. Everything else was just kind of BS. But I think that was just mainly the people that were in charge of my district, and that's about it.
Now, as much as people, you know, rely on, you know, Zoom or email or communication any other way besides face to face, I feel like humans just really appreciate being in person, talking to somebody, seeing their reaction to what you're saying, you know, seeing everything that, you know, the body language, all that kind of stuff. It goes
It's personal. It's personal.
It goes a long way because it's just like there's lots of people, you know, at my work when they get, you know, frustrated with the ladies that are on the phone. It's like ladies on the phone can get a huge attitude from people who are usually nice to us in the field because it's over the phone.
Yeah.
I think a huge part of it is also because they're women, but a part of it is just because it's over the phone and they can, you know, have a little bit more arrogance or they can have a little bit more rudeness of a tone than they usually would, especially for us being in person. They wouldn't catch that tone. You know, it's just.
Well, you can also set the tone in person. Like you give a solid handshake, you introduce yourself, you're friendly.
Exactly.
Throughout the whole rest of the conversation, it's just a solid conversation unless you say something that makes it go south.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's pretty much what sales is.
It's like as much as people, you know, like the easiness of just emailing, not having to actually meet someone in person, take the time to go drive somewhere at a location to go meet them or whatever. Yeah. It's like they do like having a, you know, person-to-person interaction because they actually feel like they're being heard versus, you know, over the phone, it could go in one ear out the other, or you read an email and it could just be, you know, they read it and it's gone. They're on to the next one. Where it's just like in person, like, you know, like with your new job, it's like you're going to be there from the time they pull onto the lot versus or until the time that they leave.
Hopefully.
It's like you're with them and, you know, it's just like they have you. So it's just like, that's comforting for everybody. It's like
I still gotta wait for the sales license. Oh my goodness.
I think you'll like that job.
I think I will too.
I think you'll do well there.
I've met a few of the guys that work there, and also both the managers, and they all seem like really cool people. And it's a pretty relaxed space, so like I wouldn't be surprised if I end up liking it. And I can't really see any negatives when it comes to working there.
Well, in worst case, if it is negative, you look for another job.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the thing when I was selling cell phones is like, I was selling cell phones to people that like your district manager would be like, hey, these are the phones that you need to kind of push out. Like, here's a quota you need to hit. So let's do your best. So you kind of get the, like a warning and another warning and then a third and then maybe a written up and then fired. And then the phones I was selling was like just bullshit phones. I was like, this is not reliable at all. But I'm gonna make it sound like this is like the best thing you ever have. Not the great. It never really sat well with me. I was like, what do you think about this phone? Oh, it's great. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. What about like whenever I'm like calling people? Oh, well, let's not talk about that. Like,
Let's focus on the good.
yeah, let's focus on the good. Look at how square this thing is. Oh.
It fits in your pocket so nicely.
Fits in your pocket so good. If you don't want it to fit in your pocket, it has a different size. That's just a mad job.
Mm-hmm.
Sales is shit, dude, sometimes. But sales can be really great.
Yeah. It's just like, it's all based on how well you perform and what type of people you interact with and how you can interact with that person. It's like every person you interact with is going to be completely different. You're going to have a total sweetheart of an old lady, and the next old lady that comes in the door is going to be an absolute bitch. It's just, you got to really work both
Part of the
edges,
job.
both
Part
edges
of
of the
it.
sword.
I just think if you could do any type of business or if you can own a business, like the first skill you should probably have is sales. Like if anything.
Well, even just in life, it's pretty applicable just being able to talk to people
Yeah.
in that way. Because everybody's selling something.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine doing what you're doing.
What, with this?
Yeah, with
Dude,
this.
this
Like
is
there's
what-
so
What
there's
do you look? We've got beers on the table. We smoked what I would say is a pretty good cigar. I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it a
This
lot.
is
Well, yeah, but like
this
there's
is not work.
there's like conversations where like let's say I have the complete opposite view of someone and then all of a sudden it gets hot and heated. Like I don't know how that ends well.
I mean, some people might say I don't know either. I've had a few of those that are
I was
you know,
gonna say
you're leaving. You're like, oh shit, that was
that was
got a little heated.
Yeah, it's not until you can like look back on it like, okay, well, maybe instead of me saying this, I could have said this. It's just trying to do like self-reflection, trying to make like the best of a bad situation of just like that completely went south and failed miserably. But what can I do learning from that experience that I can make the next one better to where the next person doesn't leave here super unhappy, or the next person comes in here and I can say the same thing, but word it differently to where it doesn't aggravate them as much, or, it's just trying to make the best of a bad situation.
Well, I find it wild that like, you can't have a different opinion with someone and for it to not get violent in either verbal or physical.
But
Sometimes
there's kind of a cheat sheet with this because
Right.
you've got the microphones.
All right.
So even if it does get heated, there's some level of abstraction because we're in a unique space. I mean, how often do you use something like this where you're not on your phone, you're sitting having a conversation that might be challenging with somebody or might just be fun like we're having, you know?
Yeah.
You don't get that a lot. And so I don't know, it's just maybe it's because it's unique in that way that I mean, I've had heated conversations and ones where I felt like, even just from my perspective, that I did incredibly poorly talking with an individual, or maybe didn't push enough, or maybe pushed too hard. But I never got the sense that it was going to get violent in that. Like that was never even on my radar. But if I was having that conversation out at a bar, or even just in a supermarket, it might be like, oh, I'm not going to engage in this.
I feel like when you get, a guest coming on this specifically, it's just like they come on here to have a conversation versus like at the bar, they could just, a group of people could be out there just hanging out with their friends, and all of a sudden they just hear something that another group says that they don't like or they don't agree with or whatever, have no idea in what context or anything. They just hear one thing and they just disagree with it, and they go over there and say something maybe, and then it turns south. It's just like here, people come
what
here,
you're getting into.
Yeah, people come in here to have a conversation. Anyone who, because I'd imagine, people who have not been on this show before come on here, they would go and look at your library of stuff, whether it be YouTube or Spotify or wherever else, and see that you don't cut things out, you don't filter things out, nothing gets bleeped, nothing, it's just, it only takes 10 minutes on a few different episodes for you to really get that vibe. So it's just like someone who actually agrees to this and actually wants to come on would really understand what they're getting themselves into versus, a setting like a bar. It could be anything.
You're not going to get blindsided in here.
Yeah.
Well, you might. I mean, because even I don't know where the conversation is going to go most of the time. So
That'd be a hell of an episode, though.
I've had a few of those.
There's been a few of those.
I've had a few of those. And I mean, that's part
It
of it.
gets violent?
No,
Oh,
the
but just-
conversation just goes in a wild turn.
There's
Yeah.
been a couple that I've listened to that it's just like, oh, it's going good, but then all of a sudden it's just like somebody agrees with something or disagrees with something that the other person said, and then all of a sudden it's
It's like
just
a car crash.
yeah, it's just, oh my God, you're my enemy. You're on here to make me look bad, or you're like, I'm on here making you sound like a dick, or shit like that. It's just like, it's not the case.
But that's what it is sometimes. I mean, especially if you have a hot button issue, like say somebody's coming in here to talk about Israel-Palestine, obviously emotions are heightened because it's an issue that presumably they're passionate about.
right.
And, you can't just let the guest say things that aren't true or you believe might not be true. Like, you have to have the discussion.
Yeah.
And that, there's some, what you're getting into there. Like, we're gonna talk. This isn't a speech. You're not gonna come on and just spew your propaganda.
Yeah.
Not saying that guests have done that or haven't done that, but we're gonna have a conversation. And so there's a balance that I definitely struggle with, and I'm still constantly working on. I'm trying to find the balance of, okay, like, how do you navigate that? How do you pull information from them? Maybe pose opposing arguments. Like, where's the balance there? But that applies to, that's just conversations with family members, with friends, with everyday life, with businesses
Yeah.
that you're trying to get involved with.
Well, and it's like, there's people like Howard Stern. It was just like, he's had like actual really good interviews with people and whatnot. And then he's had other interviews where it's just him having fun and him like,
Strippers get naked.
yeah, you get,
That's wild.
yeah, like you get him in the right setting, or, he gets in the right setting of whatever guest he has on or whatever. It's just like, it can be a very like, it's a black and white, like, here's the question, answer it. And then you battle it, or you agree with it this night, move on. Or it's just like, yeah, I just have people on and it is what it is. It's just like, you can do whatever.
And so much of it is that energy, like, you're definitely feeding off your guest and your guest is feeding off of you. It's a conversation. It's not a one-way street.
Yeah, but you won't be able to have that. Like, let's say it was like, I was having a conversation somewhere like outside of here, like outside of this space, and like with someone, like, let's, for example, like gender, right? If I disagree, like if I just have a slight disagreements with someone, there's a high chance they're gonna just shut off and like label me to something that I'm not. I just don't agree, but I'm willing to have a conversation, but the other party's not. And I feel like it's so wild that people just can't have conversations when they have different opinions.
But that's where the cheat code of the mic comes in.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Because we'll just sit here silently. And so you're going to feel compelled to talk. How long can you sit in a silence? That's
Yeah,
something
not
I've
very
been
long.
working on, because I would cut in occasionally, or I
Yeah.
used to cut in a lot. If there was a silence, I got really uncomfortable. And so I would start talking. But now we'll just sit in the silence. And then you're going to start talking again, probably. or we might just sit here and that might be the end of the episode. But people want to talk.
But yeah,
But when you're in an outside environment, if you strike a nerve like that, they don't want to talk to hear your side. They want to talk at you and
Yeah.
bring you to them, to their side.
Just not gonna happen sometimes. Sometimes it's just not gonna happen.
Sometimes that's life.
Just
I've had bad conversations where you both walk out in disagreements, and that's okay. That's life.
Oh man.
mhm.
Like I said, I don't know how you do it sometimes. 'Cause
It's not hard at all. I mean, it's hard in different ways, but this is like not, I wouldn't call this work at all.
Well, I mean, I've had people, like I tell them, oh, I'm going to go on a podcast. Like, oh, what are you going to talk about? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You don't have like topics or this and that? I'm like, no, you show up and you just start talking, and it is what it is. Sometimes it's about like really deep, important stuff. And other times it's literally just bullshit about like, like high school or like beer. Like, it just doesn't matter. It really is. You show up and you do what it is. And like, there's benefits to that. And there's benefits of like, having people on and talking about specific things, as more of like an interview, more of like than just a chat. And, it's just like, and that's the beauty of like different podcasts. It's like, you can have ones that are just question, answer. You can have one that's just more of like, just go with the flow, and whatever happens and whatever we talk about is what we talk about and put out. So I think that's really beneficial of like you for having the podcast. It's just like, you listen to all this stuff and people go back and forth about different topics and subjects and stuff. And it's just like, take it all in. And sometimes you go home and stress about it, but other times you can just let it roll off your back and you're like, oh, well.
Yeah, it's lighthearted and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Side note, I've been staring at this man, right? You're gonna be a great dad when you become a dad. Just fucking.
See, this is one of those random tangents we're talking about.
Yeah, random
Just-
tangent.
Just good fun.
I'm not even gonna lie. You're gonna be a great dad.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
I
man.
think you guys are all great parents. You in the future will be a great parent, but you, Braden, Mary, Sabrina, Maria, you guys, I think you guys are all like I sit back sometimes and think about like our friend group and how, lucky I am to have you guys in my life. You guys,
butter me up, huh?
I had to one up you. I'm sorry.
Oh man,
That's one of those moments, Nick, just sit in the silence like, how's it go?
Oh my goodness, that'll making me.
Do you think it's the
my
dad hat
heartstrings.
that's kind of like giving you the vibe? You're like, oh, he's got the style down.
No, it's just the way he talks. It's very understanding,
Very measured.
very calm demeanor.
There's been a couple of times on here things get heated, and I'm just like, meh. Like, and like never like gotten heated between us, but like we talk like because there's been times where I've come on here and like listened to our conversation back, and Sabrina will call me crazy. She's like, "You just lived the whole thing. What do you mean you're gonna go back and listen to it?" I'm like, "Well, I want to know what I said, and if I disagree, or if I maybe what I said could have came across as someone as something different than what I meant, or something like that. It's just like, who's gonna listen to this and be like, oh yeah, that guy's a piece of shit, or that guy, I agree with him. Like, how's it gonna hit an ear that's not ours?" And so I'm just like, it's just curiosity, but like learning from all those other times, it's like some people are going to agree with what I say or what we talk about, and other people aren't, and that's okay. I'm not going to lose any sleep about it.
I don't know anyone who would think you're a piece of shit. If they did, they're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you get like really upset. You'll always like maintain a very measured stance. It's probably going to be great for parenting.
Yeah,
You're
no.
going to have some challenges.
Parenting it'll challenge you, dude. Oh my gosh. I had to work on my patience. Not fun thing to do.
I've seen you've gotten a lot better. I've seen you pop off on people for stuff that's just like, whoa, like it was
Yeah,
fine. Now,
Yeah, like teachers and
Okay, well, sorry. I'm so sorry, Sanchez.
she's not going to hear this.
No.
Oh, you're throwing names out. All
I'm
right.
so sorry. But no, but that was just like, I don't know.
Sometimes you just meet somebody and they're just in a bad spot in that moment, and it just sucks that you're on the receiving end of that.
Well, for me, it was like I feel like a lot of that shit was just ego, Just ego, just being stupid, just being a dumb kid at the same time.
yeah, for sure. Like again, you think you know
Everything.
you think you know what you're talking about and this and that, and it's like you really got no idea. There was one time it was we were having a discussion. It was in an English class. I think it was sophomore year. I forget what we were talking about, but it was just like, oh, like how do you feel like when an adult like I forget how it went, but I remember specifically saying adults think they know more than us. And then Phoebe was just like, it's because they do. And I'm like, oh well, I guess
Something clicked.
She fucking got me. I'm like, 100%. Like they're, someone who's 80 years old or even 40 years old is going to know a lot more than me at 16 at that point. It's just like crazy. It was just like, I didn't think about that. And then sure shit, you proved me wrong in 2 seconds. How about that?
How about that, dude? I don't know. Like I said, when I was young, I'm still young. 3 years, I'm gonna be 30.
Well, thanks for making it depressing now. Okay.
I know. Stop. But like when I was a kid,
4 years. You're not 27. You're 26.
gonna be 27.
Yeah,
You're
well,
gonna be 27.
we're not there
We're
yet.
gonna be 27.
Slow it down. It's
This year,
4 years.
we're practically 27.
Jesus, let's get that right.
Sabrina looked she looked at me the other day. She's like, you're practically 30. So I'm 26 this year. She's like, you're practically 30. And I'm
Nah,
like,
dude.
I'm
26.
I'm like, yeah, whatever.
26 is the new 21, dude.
No, it's not.
It is.
Honestly, I feel like now, because I think back to when I was like 18 and like I was very good about like on a work night, it was just like I go to bed by like 9 o'clock, 9:30, and like I gotta go up for work. But now I'm just like, there's no like I for sure on Sunday night, if like people wanted to go to the bar and I was out till 2 a.m, I go to work on Monday, no fucking problem. I might be a little tired, a little bit, but I'm just like, it's fine.
Can't be me now.
Have a cup of coffee. And you got 2 kids.
Can't be me now,
So,
bro.
I'll give you that one. But me, I'm just like, I learned to like kind of live with it a little bit more. It's just like, I got it. Like, it's fine. A lot more people have gone a lot more shit and still gone to work. I'm like, I can be a little tired and go to work. It's fine.
That was me today. I had a podcast going. I did a 5-hour podcast last night.
Oh,
We were in here drinking and talking shit, and then was editing until like 12:30 to get a podcast. I don't know if I told you guys, I started producing other podcasts. So I rent out the space and produce another guy's podcast in here. Yeah.
Hey, congrats.
So I do that. So I was trying to turn around a project for him up till 12:30 doing that, and then went to work at 4:30. And now here we are doing this. Sometimes you got to just suck it up. Just do the work. Do the work that needs to be done.
Yeah, after 5 hours though. 5 hours of editing. And then also producing.
That's crazy. Had a podcast for 5 hours one time. I think that's what it was 5 hours. Is like
we've done some long ones.
I think it was the second one I was on. It was 5 hours. It was long.
That was probably in the hot studio days.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely.
We've done you've been in here quite a few times. I don't know I think Thomas, who was on last night, he asked me who was on the most, I think, because he's been up there a few times too. But it might be you. You might be the guest that's been on the most.
See, I thought Angel was on here the most.
Angel has been
I figured she was probably on the most. Because as far as I knew, I had the longest one. That's what I took pride in. Yeah. I was on there for 5 hours. That was the longest. But that was a long time.
She's good.
Yeah?
She's good, yeah.
Are you the only one that's talked to her? Have you talked to her?
Mm-mm.
No?
I just see that she comes on his podcast, every once in a while. And so it's like, I just know she's been on here probably. I would say she's probably been on here more than anybody.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to look. There's too many.
Because honestly, this is my fifth or sixth, one of the two. Between just one-on-ones and or having other people in there too.
This is probably like my third.
Those are rookie numbers.
I know.
I was talking about this last night too. What do you guys think of doing like a poker podcast where we just do like a rotation, bring people in here, play like penny poker, and just, drink, hang out?
If I knew how to play poker,
I don't know how to play either.
YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. You don't know how to play either?
No, YouTube.
So none of us know how to play.
None of us know how to play.
But I would be fun. That sounds fucking amazing, actually. That sounds really fun. So I'd be
taking that idea around.
Have you?
Yeah, last night, mainly. But I had been thinking about it periodically, and then I started talking about it last night. So I feel compelled to do it now, especially talking about it now.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I think it'd just be a fun way just to hang.
Yeah.
Do a pod, play a little poker.
Yeah.
Learn how to play poker.
Learn how to play poker.
Honestly, if I knew that we were going to play poker, I'd just YouTube for like...
That was my plan. There's got to be tutorials without a doubt.
No, you can YouTube anything nowadays. You can YouTube everything actually nowadays.
That's what I love and hate about YouTube is everything's out there except for the shit that they censor.
Honestly, like the videos on TikTok I enjoy the most are the more like the how-to videos of like people doing like honestly like home improvement shit. I'm just like, that's the shit I save because I'm just like, that could come in handy one day.
Yep.
And it's just stuff like that. Like actually learn how to do it. Like obviously the stuff that just makes you laugh or the stuff that makes you feel good, like that stuff's out there and it's cool. But like the stuff I enjoy the most on YouTube or TikTok is like how-to stuff. Because you actually learn something and can, it can always like save it and go back to it if you don't like, if it doesn't stick with you that well, then you can just go back and rewatch it.
It feels like you gain something when you're watching a video like that, not just mindlessly scrolling. Like you learned how to do something.
I think that's the biggest thing. It's just like, there's been some times where like, not as much as others for sure, but there's been times where like you get stuck in the rabbit hole for a few hours. You're like, holy shit, I just melted my brain for however long on fucking TikTok watching people do stupid shit.
And you don't even remember what it was.
And it doesn't even remember. Like you might have laughed a couple of times. You might have like felt a certain way a couple of times, but it's like, don't know what the first video you watch, you don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But the stuff that you actually like look up how to do or like learn how to do, it's like that stuff sticks with you. So it's like, I like watching that stuff because I feel like you just melted your brain for however long the video was on your phone still, but you did take away something.
That's my TikTok with like workout videos. This is all just gym videos and just how to do all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I had home improvement, yeah. If I had a house, but I have an apartment, they can improve it myself. They can improve it for me.
Yeah, you gain something. I've seen videos of people building houses out in the jungle, just like little mud huts, random shit. And it's like, oh, this is interesting.
Like, that's pretty cool. I'm never gonna do that, but it's interesting. Yeah. But like a lot of it is just like, like you turn. I've seen videos of like people like taking like a tool and then doing something to it, and then they use it for something else. I'm just like, okay, well then now like it's useful, I guess, but then you just kind of fucked up that initial tool to make this other one. So now like you can't use it for the initial thing that you bought it for and stuff like that. But like tips and tricks and stuff is kind of neat.
That's the internet, man. You can learn anything off the internet. Like who needs school nowadays?
Especially with AI. who's going to need school in the future? I mean, it'll be interesting to see all the kids that are going to college now. First off, what are they learning and how much of the work that they're doing is being done by AI?
I mean, it's gonna be interesting for you next year when Massey goes to school, like when he starts, pre-K or starts kindergarten or whatever. It's just
That'd be
like
fucked, dude.
it's gonna be weird, interesting for you to see how like what they're doing.
Well, AI is almost like it's only been recently. I've been seeing a lot more commercials about them promoting AI to help with like workspaces, like for your employees' workloads and all that. And you just use AI and can shorten that workload for them.
Yeah, I don't fuck with AI because it's just like you use it as a tool, and then how long until they're like, we're just gonna use it for what we use it for, and we don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, we're ahead.
Getting there.
Yeah, and it's just like, how are people gonna have like jobs? Like that's the big thing. It's just like you have all these people that they do say marketing or whatever.
Yeah,
they can create an AI that does marketing for you. You can have AI that creates songs for you if you're a songwriter or whatever. It's like,
well, you can go
like, what are you supposed to do? It's like you're putting people out of work with AI. So it's just like, unless you're in the AI industry creating those programs and that kind of stuff, like those people are putting other people out of work. And it's like, that's what scares me.
Oh, it's over. There's a Drake song that I have in my gym rotation, and he used some AI or voice generation software to bring Tupac and Snoop Dogg into the track, and it's fucking good.
Yeah,
it's good. I can't think of the name of it, but it's fucking, I liked it. That's where we're going. I mean, people are using it for like software engineering, Copilot. There are a ton of them.
Well, that was one of the, I got like rejection whenever I was doing cold calling. The guy pretty much said that he uses ChatGPT to pretty much do all his copy for his website, for his email marketing, and for all the emails he sends out to people who just sign up for his newsletter. And he's just like, yeah, just plug it in, tell him what I want him to say, and then he'll say it, and then I'll adjust it accordingly, like however I want it. I'm like, okay.
I had Grok on X generate an image of George Washington with an AR-15 and a flag in the background, and it was a banger. I saved it.
Did you really?
It was amazing. Yeah, just playing around with the image generation, and it is unreal.
See, that stuff like freaks me out so much. I don't even play with it. Like the stupid little fucking AI on Snapchat, I don't fuck with it. If I could get it off my phone, I would.
I had a guy on here talking about how he was risen up the AI Snapchat, and it was just not having it. He was trying to flirt with it a little bit. Yeah. I mean, dude,
I'm about to try that tonight.
That's the one that I think is going to be a crazy turn, is when people start having AI girlfriends and like real AI girlfriends.
At first I thought it was gonna be crazy. Like if you would have told me that like 5 years ago, I'd be like, that's fucking bullshit. Like why would anyone ever want that? But then nowadays I'm like, you're probably not that far off, dude. Especially if you can make the AI look like however you want to look like.
Well, the thing is just like, what can you do? Like where does it stop? It's like soon you're going to get to a point where like AI can do this, it can do that. It's like, what do you need people for? Or what do you hire them for? It's like you have AI that creates songs now. It's like, okay, well, here's a rough idea of a movie, create a script. And then now you're putting directors and producers out of movies, and now you're getting companies that don't make movies. They just have an AI that they pay for, creates the whole movie, and now they can profit that much more. And now your selection goes down because directors get laid off and producers go away and movies go bad. It's just like that was just that industry. That's not even like anything else. It's just like in like cars and stuff too. It's just like, cars are driving themselves and they're getting
really good,
fancier and
really
fancier. Even putting the cars together, they got machines and robots and stuff that have been doing that for years. It's just like the people are there just in case something goes wrong.
I think
like farming equipment's the same thing. You get in a tractor nowadays, it's just like
does all the work for you.
Yeah, you type in all the shit and it fucking tills everything, and it does everything all you fucking need. You're just there in case something goes wrong.
My hope is that we're gonna have like a Greek Renaissance in the way where people are going to be able to pursue philosophy and art and these other things.
Like creative jobs.
Yeah. But not even, maybe your passion's not creative. Maybe you want to do woodworking and pursue that, and now you'll have the time. And I mean, some of that ties into like a universal basic income, which seems like it might be not great. I think Sam Altman did a study through OpenAI that showed that people actually ended up making less money through universal basic income than they would have without it. But I mean, it could be a great ushering in of a new era for people, or it could be dystopian where, half the population is out of a job and there's people starving. And
I think we're gonna lean more towards that.
Unfortunately, it's scary. That's why it's just like I don't fuck with it. It's just like,
but at least you'll have an AI girlfriend. Well,
Yeah.
you guys won't. You guys have real lives, but the rest of us single people will have AI girlfriends that look like supermodels, and they'll be home waiting for you, and you can go take them to the park. And it's going to be really crazy when you can't even tell if you have this AI robot.
Oh,
in your
robot?
house, and people are like, "Oh, she's AI." And you're like, "Yeah, man, she's great.
She's
amazing."
great.
You're like, "Yeah, but she looks like Ana de Armas," and you're like, "Yeah, I know." that's how I set it up. I couldn't even tell. Yeah, it's gonna get weird.
It's gonna get weird.
It's
dude.
gonna get weird.
It's gonna get weird. I mean, I don't think AI will ever have like free will, though.
I don't know.
I feel like it's real hard to get like free will into like a program.
Once they figure out how to take the boot off of their neck, man, it's gonna be buck wild. We're gonna be working for the AI overlords.
Yeah, don't say that.
We got some time. We got some time for that.
Until-
Hopefully the AI girlfriends will come first and we won't just jump to that.
Well, you tell us how that feels.
Yeah, I will. Oh, I will.
It's like we don't.
Oh, I will.
I'll bring her in for a podcast. Hey, honey. No, we took it too far.
I don't know about that, dude. Like, I feel like it'll be really hard for it to be free will. I think there will be a long time before that even happens. Like a long, long time. Like we'd be probably long dead before then. Hopefully.
I
sure
think it'll
hope
be in
so.
our lifetime. I think we're going to see some shit.
I feel like we've already seen some shit. I mean, you just imagine since
George Washington image.
I mean, I feel like
Yeah, but that's the image.
Yeah, but once it can
And
talk to
you gave it the command. You're like, hey, give me this. Just like how you gotta tell your AI girlfriend, give me a blowjob. Give me.
You won't have to ask. She'll just know to do it.
Or what's that one girl who did give me the huck tour.
Wow, yeah. That's also in our timeline. We have Haktua.
yeah, there you go. I feel like we've already kind of like witnessed a bunch of like the technological advances that's been around since like even since we've been alive. It's just like they were listening to, you want to listen to music in your car, you had the radio, or you had like a tape or a cassette, and then it went to CDs. Now you don't even have to do your phone. Like nothing has to be connected. It's just like that was in the span of just 30 years. And, so it's just like how much, like it's advancing very fast. And like the more you advance, the faster it gets. And so, because it can learn from itself and everything else, they're not going to, eventually AI is just going to not need us.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be great if AI and just like robots and stuff like that can do all of our hard jobs, our labor jobs, and we just do creative jobs?
See, I feel like that's the
utopian idea.
Well, I feel like that's the spot where like AI couldn't touch you. Is like AI can't go out there and like AI can go out and do my job and set like they couldn't set a propane tank and run gas line underground and do all this other shit. It's just like, that's where it's just like you need a person to do that
Right now,
yeah.
But once they have robotic bodies that have natural movement and can lift more than you and do it faster,
yeah,
game over.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's a job that they couldn't do theoretically.
Well, and that's just like, well, what's that mean for humans then? If ever they get to a point where AI does everything and they don't hire humans to do anything, like what are we here for? Like where does that leave us?
It kind of reminds me when I recently walked into McDonald's and they have those like little touch screens where you can order your food. And then I ignored that. I went to the front and the person behind the desk kind of looked at me like, oh, okay.
There's a machine over here
Yeah,
you could interact with.
All right.
It's like that's order. You're getting paid to take the order. I don't need a machine to do it. Or like I haven't gone into like the last time that probably happened was Taco Bell, and this has been probably a few years now. The one here in town, but it was just like walking in there to order food, and then waiting for someone to come to the counter. It was just like this. Actually, it wasn't to order, so I ordered it online, but had it ready for inside the store instead of drive-through.
Yeah.
And so when I got there to pick it up, it's still behind the counter, but just waiting for someone to come to the goddamn counter.
That's what
it was like
McDonald's.
5 fucking minutes, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I don't want to be rude and just be like, hey, if like, like over here and like snap at them or say anything because it's like they're doing their job, but it's just like, you got a person standing here, you need to like talk to them.
At least
like, hey,
recognize.
like, hey, yeah, like just, and there's a few people that when that happened, it was just like, make eye contact and they just keep going back. I'm like, what are you doing? Like send somebody else over or do something. Like, I don't know. I'm here to pick up food. Like a computer can't hand me my goddamn food. Like it's just like, you need me to do it.
AI, man. You had a robot back there, that wouldn't be an issue. Got eyes in the back of their head, 6 arms.
Flipping burgers. You
handing
probably
your
wouldn't have
food.
to wait that long.
No, it'd be
Honestly,
fast.
that'd be fast. That would
It
be
would be
fast.
fast.
Sometimes I have to wait in like Wendy's line for like 10 minutes and I'm already.
Man, some of those drive-thrus in and out is fucking crazy sometimes.
Yeah, but In-N-Out's not that bad. They're pretty quick.
Sometimes. Taco Bell is probably the worst. Taco Bell, you get in at the wrong time. I've been on a tear. They have these steak grilled cheese burritos.
Yeah, those are good.
That I've been fucking putting to
They have?
town.
It's a steak grilled cheese burrito.
So it's
A Taco Bell?
yeah,
Oh,
it's a
yeah. I've
steak burrito, and then they fry cheese on one side, and it is
It's been about
ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
2 years since I've had Taco Bell.
Well,
Good for you. That's
you
good. That's
need to
good.
break that habit and try one of these.
No, because the
you're
last
never going
time
back.
I went to Taco Bell, my asshole exploded. Like, I'm not doing that.
That's what happens to me. But with these, I don't know if they just what they do.
It's like
I don't want to know.
Like the way I do it is just like that burrito is probably like $5 or something like that, So it's just like compared to like a restaurant burrito, it's cheap, but it's just like you order
It's still
online.
crazy expensive.
Yeah, you order online. I can get a whole box of food for $7, but you just gotta order online.
It's honestly not that hard to, like, for me to spend like $40 at McDonald's.
Which is nuts.
Nuts.
Which is crazy.
Crazy.
Because like you go, like you and Maria went out to like a restaurant somewhere, spending $40 or more for you two is like, and that's going to a restaurant. That's not just fast food. That's like actually getting like better quality food delivered to you. You don't have to clean up. Now you just no.
But it'd be more expensive. I don't know if you'd be paying $40.
I don't know. Depends. You go to
Well,
Applebee's
for, like,
and you get half price apps.
Well,
With what?
half price
Mm-hmm.
appetizer. But then
I'm
you
just
gotta-
saying, McDonald's has gone like way up. I think a lot of these fast
All
food
of them,
restaurants,
dude.
all of them.
Mhm.
all of them have gone insane.
That's what, like
Inflation.
the best thing is just to order online though, because then it's just like they have special deals they don't have in the store, so you can order online. It makes it cheaper.
Well, that's what they're constantly pushing. Every time I go through the drive-through, like if I
Mhm.
go to McDonald's or if I go to like anywhere. Oh, I don't know about Wendy's, but I know from McDonald's for sure. It's like the first thing that pops out of that like recording is like, "Hey, are you
try
using
the app.
Yeah, try the app. Are you using the app? Let them know."
Well, you also earn like free food too. Like on like when I order food through T-Bell, it's
Yeah.
just like I get something for free almost every single time.
Dustyn spitting game out here.
He really is though. Like you're making
You
my
get like a
mind.
$5 item for free.
You're making my mind like work right now.
And Wendy's is honestly even better because their points don't expire for
So they have an app.
Wendy's does it. Yeah.
See, it's
I have a
ridiculous.
problem
Why
with
is
Wendy's
everything
though because they wanted to do that surge pricing. So morally, I feel a little.
stuff like what
in a
something's
gray
low. They
So like if
spend
there's
high.
a lot of demand, they're going to raise the prices on the food for this
Mm.
period of time. Which fuck you, Wendy's. They got so much backlash, they backtracked and are no longer going to do it. But they were working for that. So like if you're going during rush hour, everything's way more expensive than it already is, just because everyone's trying to get food.
Hmm.
Yeah, like Uber surge pricing type thing.
That's not okay.
That's not okay.
That's something I don't do is the DoorDash and the Uber and stuff. I have never. There was one time I was like drunk and I went on Taco Bell and everyone else went to go get Chinese food, and so I was just like, I don't want Chinese food. I want Taco Bell. I like downloaded the app so I could get like the first time for free, and it was still like double the price of like the delivery time, and I'm like, no. I'm like, in my drunken state, I'm still not going to pay double the
So
fucking
good.
price of this box of food. for
R.I.P. the dollar menus.
hard
dude.
pass, dude.
R.I.P. the dollar menus. Like what happened to that? I remember I could spend $20 and I get fucking feed. Easy.
Like, you can still go to Jack in the Box and still get some
Ooh,
Oh.
two taco.
Dude, Jack
you
in the
lost
Box?
us. You
Oh,
lost
dude.
us.
You can get two
did.
tacos for $1.
Oh my god.
No.
You can do that at Burger King.
I know, I've seen that. I was
You
like,
see that?
when the fuck did they start making tacos? I was blown away.
Honestly. Like I don't know. R.I.P.
I
to the
fuck with
dollar
Jack in
menu.
the Box tacos though.
Why?
They're fucking
Those
good.
little
And they're
those little
cheap.
ones are actually
The
not
mini
that
tacos,
bad.
yeah. The mini
Really?
tacos are good.
Mini tacos.
But I'm talking like just their actual like just taco.
So I haven't made that.
Those
jump.
are
But
fucking
I've gotten
good.
their little
That-
mini taco things, and they're. I mean, it depends. Like, what state are you in? How many drinks have you had?
None.
Well, that might not be the choice.
Bubble gut. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't drink.
It's not a bad thing.
Well, Jack in the Box
Not
is
a bad
just,
thing.
I've never really liked Jack in the Box here. And I think just because I live here. I think other places, like, because, what's it called? Maria said that in Reading, they're actually really good. But here,
I don't mind the Jack in the Box here. I don't like. I think sometimes when I get it, it's like it's usually late at night. And we're going back home,
Yeah.
and if other places like Taco Bell or Wendy's have like a long line, do you go to you go to Jack in the Box, or there's like maybe one car there, if that, and it's just like it's expensive. Jack in the Box is pricey for sure. Like it can be, I don't know. Like it's just I think it's more expensive, but like I don't think their food's bad.
I mean, if it's expensive, I'd rather go to Tony's.
Oh, Tony's.
Dude.
Tony's is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Tony's is pricey, but
Like
it was
working
a banger.
right next door to Tony's, I can honestly say the 3 years that I've worked there, I have eaten Tony's probably 3 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for being there for, stuck there all day and it being right there for lunch or whatever, just taking the 10 minutes to walk over there and back. And like, I just haven't done it. It's expensive.
That's why I want
I've
financial freedom.
I've
dude.
gotten a milkshake from there every once in a while.
Milkshakes are
on
pretty
on a
good.
warm day, it's like getting a milkshake there from there is fucking awesome. But when I do that, I make sure it's not lunchtime. I make sure it's like 2-3 o'clock. It's not noon to 1 or like 1:30 or something like that where
Yeah.
the lunch rush, because it gets fucking packed there.
Yeah. I think that's one of the few places besides like actual restaurants where I go like inside. Most of the time I'm just going through drive-thrus. I feel like that's the case for like a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't really go inside anymore.
Right.
Going out, they all have screens. They're not at the fucking counter anymore. Even if you wanted your food, like you order your food online and then you want it to pick it up inside,
Yeah.
you're gonna take forever to even hand it to you.
I'm telling you, robots are going to solve all that.
Robots can solve all the
This is
hard
the
jobs.
answer.
Like,
Yep,
they-
and they're
like I
gonna-
said,
and
We
they're
just got to figure out the time frame.
And they're gonna put all those people out of work, and then they're gonna be like, "Well, what
Yeah,
now?"
but you just got to look at the positives, Dustin. Don't look too far into it.
get
Look at the
yourself,
positives.
you and Sabrina can get yourself a nice little robot honey.
And you don't even have to have sex with it. Just have it clean the house.
Nah.
Nah, I wouldn't want that, dude. I don't think you can ever replace human creativity. You can try.
You gotta see my George Washington picture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, you can literally you can make AI just tell it anything, and they'll make it whatever you want.
Yeah.
And what's
Yeah.
crazy is it's not like it just like that picture. You didn't pay for the picture. No one owns the rights to that picture. It's literally just like it.
And it's good. I mean,
George Washington holding it.
it's you would think that you would pay somebody to make something like that. Like it's not a cheesy picture.
Yeah, but I've seen some AI photos and I'm just like, that looks wild.
Oh, some of them are bad,
Like,
but
super wild.
the rate of their ability the rate at which their ability has gotten better is astounding. I mean, they're really good now. Midjourney is supposedly really, really good too. I played around with that a while ago. I haven't played with it recently, but fuck, I'm telling you, dude. Changing times, man.
Can't replace humans. Can't do it.
They're trying. Humans are trying.
I know,
Humans are trying to
weird.
replace
Humans are trying to replace humans. Exactly.
I don't understand it. But like I said, if you could replace all of them for the hard jobs and then you could just keep us for creativity, then that'd be great.
I'm still a firm believer in them. We're headed towards Wall-E. All the fat people in chairs. That's what everyone's gonna be.
We're already there.
No, we're not going to be fat because we have Ozempic now. So we'll still be in chairs.
There you
We'll
go.
just not be as obese in those chairs.
Yeah, I think that's still gonna happen.
I could see that.
I'm leaning more towards Dustin's side on this one because we're already fat.
Yeah.
Most-
we got a lot of
Americans
things.
are fat.
Americans are fat.
Americans are fat. The rest of the world, I think, is depends on where you go. But I think I'm definitely like Americans are the ones like the fat people in the chairs.
We're holding it down
Yeah.
for the rest of the world.
It is what it is, guys. It is what it is.
All right, boys, what do you say we get the fuck out of here?
Yeah.
It's 9:15.
Well, how about that?
So we put in some time.
Did we?
We put in some time.
How long have we been doing this?
almost
3 hours.
I'll say almost 3 hours, give or take.
Yeah.
I don't know if we started right at 6 or not.
I don't know.
But
We were
Give-
we were BSing for a
give her-
while before we got
yeah.
rolling.
give or take 3 hours.
Do you guys want to plug anything? Any shout outs? Any
Mm,
final parting words?
I hope you're all safe. Don't drink and drive.
Ominous.
Don't drink and
Hope
drive.
You're all safe.
get your pet spayed neutered.
Don't worry about AI. If you do get an AI girlfriend, tell us how you feel about it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Right in the podcast.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.